When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Ice Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkest of nights, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless. What is up, everyone? Greetings, fearless family. Greetings, new listeners. Greetings. Hi.
Hi.
It's Saturday night. You know what that means. It's your Sorcerer Supreme right here. Each and every time we click go live on YouTube. I want to thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I am joined by my ethereal translator and co-host, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
I feel like there should be like a cheer section after you say, well, what's that? Hey, everyone. Yeah.
Look, these last couple of days have been rough. So I'm actually proud of myself to be showered and awake.
What do we say? You know, celebrate those little things, right?
Small achievements.
Small achievements.
Small achievements. The energy, the last couple of 3 days, I'd say 3 days, out of control. Out of control.
And I know.
Not in control of, yeah, showers are hard. You don't know. It was, Aaron, it was a negotiation from the moment I woke up this morning. And I kept telling Frank, you know, I'm so sorry. I can't pull it together all day, trying to pull it together. And he said, Frank was like, I understand, but the energies were so bad today. Just completely. Yeah. Cannot do anything, cannot focus on anything, cannot complete a sentence or a thought or an idea. Frank and I have been walking back and forth in this apartment looking for stuff all day long, walking into a room and forgetting why.
I'm doing it live right now. I'm going to cut in front
of you.
Hold on.
This has been, oh, ow.
Sorry.
This has been.
Didn't mean that.
Stop.
You look so pretty tonight.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's just been intense. Just. I don't think I completed a full thought all day today.
I can understand this.
Yeah, so this is going to be a slow go for me tonight. And I already know because I told Frank and he was like, it's okay. And then at one point during the day, I was like, are you disappointed in me? And he said no, but I felt like the world would be disappointed in me because I couldn't pull it together today. And it was a really scary feeling, like completely out of control. And I don't know if anyone else is feeling that. Apparently you're feeling like that.
It's funny because I kept saying to myself and then to you, like, there's no one in press. No one's fucking. No, you know what I mean.
No,
like,
but you know, like we have.
As your partner, I'm letting you know it's all groovy.
Oh, no, and I appreciate that.
You can fall apart and put yourself back together all day, all night.
Well, that's what I did. Basically, that's what I did. I mean, I didn't even cook today. I had 2 pretzels and then we ordered food because I couldn't even prepare or cook anything today. It was just terrible. And then the energies, there is so much male energy around us, and Frank's going to get into it later. Between the male energy that's coming in and all thank you, Aaron, and all of this crazy energy that everyone's being hit with, I'm surprised that
we're in between these moments.
Yeah, I look at me. I can't even finish a sentence.
Would you like me to help?
Yeah. Take over. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
So we're in between moments of stuff like that second eclipse, and 3 days afterwards, or even a week. For most people, it takes a while to take those downloads and kind of pull in the ones they need out of the restricted ones, whatever tentacle you feel is flopping out around this matrix lately, right? So the Fearless family, we've said this in the beginning, we're a couple of days ahead of schedule. We always ride the tip of the wave.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
yeah,
so
as far as
I'll go down right, and I'll get better in a day or two, and then Paula goes down immediately. This is how we know something's occurring, and then it starts hitting everyone else around us. So it's like, it used to be like we get a little more
of a heads up,
heads up, right?
Yeah.
So that means something's happening.
Yeah, something's
I got to
happening.
go this way. That means it's closing in.
Yeah.
So we're taking in the info and forming the character. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, it was this was and just this week was very hard because you know, as we all know, part of the Fearless family, we had a very rough week, and we lost one of our.
All right, you're gonna jump ahead of the program. We got the list right. I'm never showing you the list again, because you always do that. You look down at the list and start jumping into categories. But I love you, and since you did it already, now we have to leave this conversation. Oh, bye guys, and we'll get into the sad one. We lost a Fearless family member this week. Gina Jin passed away unexpectedly to us. We had no clue. She's 45 years old. She's pretty awesome. We talk about her on the show all the time. Yeah. She's the girl we talk about, the fruitarian. She taught us a whole bunch of different ways to eat.
Oh, and to just
to not diet, just strategies with your body would be the best.
Yeah, to care for your body, absolutely.
And how to science it. So she was doing a whole bunch of sciencing.
And I know she was helping a lot of people in the group too.
She was way more than the group. She introduced me to. All right, let's go back. So we met her in an ayahuasca experience where she came to us.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then it was in between her and Nick Zervos. Right,
where we had literally days apart.
We had multiple sessions, and we figured we had a couple of days. We set up a couple of days in between.
They were back to back.
But yes, sessions, but what happened is she stayed the whole time until Nick showed up, until Nick came.
Yeah, it was a little rough.
Right, so she was like living on the couch pretty much, just drinking ayahuasca, which was it. I'm gonna just say this now. This is how you can tell a warrior, no matter what the story is and the drama, that blah, blah, blah. Check this out. If somebody chills on your fucking couch and drinks ayahuasca like a bunch of times every day, we'll try DMT, eat some mushrooms, and warrior up, because I went in with her. Okay. Remember when I told you, like, I jumped up because she looked like she grew. Yeah. And I jumped up and I grabbed her by her arms. She looked like Plastic Man, like you pull the arms and legs, or Stretch Armstrong. So I freaked out for a second. I took a deep breath, because she was tall and beautiful, and I'm going, oh no, what's happening to her? But you know, you're under Aya and things are twisting and shifting. And then she goes, what's happening to me? And I go, holy shit. I looked around while I was holding her arms, and I'm like, yo, we're here. We broke through. I let her go because she was like flailing a little bit, but to me it looked like she was really long. Like it was weird, and she needed the help. She was asking for help. She was like, "Oh, what's happening?" And then boom, the breakthrough happened, and it turned into a master in training, a warrior in training. Well, remembering who you are, you're already that. Yeah. So we're just going to unlock this and watch, right? So she went on an epic adventure after us. After that epic adventure called life, in that she expanded her awareness and her abilities outward with faith and belief in the entire system that she was part of, right? She jumped around, got her information from all good spots. She introduced me personally to Will, the guy that chases down the pedophiles.
Yeah.
And then goes on the news,
Mhm.
right? I love that guy. He's awesome. He goes right up to them, man. He calls them right out. All right. Anyway, so she apparently was working with a whole bunch of everyone, but she had cancer and didn't know it. She had a tumor on her pancreas. That's as far as I'm going to explain anything. Okay. And those of you that know her have read Facebook and know what's going on. Everyone's posted up there the information. And she believed hardcore in sciencing her body up till the very end. She was literally in I don't know if it's I guess it would be a fast or a cleansing. And it was when you dedicate yourself to that, to see how your body's going to react and how it's going to heal itself from one thing or another, she started like shutting down from it. So everyone blamed what she was doing on what was wrong with her. So she went to the emergency room, and the next thing you know, here we are. She was gone, just like that. Now, with that being said, she affected so many people wonderfully.
She did.
Like in a way that,
a very positive way. Yeah.
I mean, you out there at home listening that knew her or know of her, how many of she started doing videos up towards the end? She just started turning it up a notch, right? I was like, look at her, man. She's taking off. She was part of Everything Healthy, right? So she took that on to show you by example the different techniques and different ways to do things to cleanse out your stuff. Do you know she had just bought the foot spa? Okay, just gonna say this real quick. Oh, that's much better. Just gonna say this real quick. I'm trying to get the brightness in here fixed, and look, it's fine. It was the dark screen. Andrew,
I did that the other day.
Shout outs to Andrew Sly Shaman. He got the foot bath, and he said, he wrote me in big letters. It said, I think something's happening to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, do it 4 times in a row. Something's really gonna, really gonna happen. So
she was pure love.
She was fucking great. Just pure and warrior.
She just wanted to share information.
Oh, I got dark eyes tonight.
They don't. It's a shadow.
Is it?
Your eyes aren't.
I think it's my allergies have been.
I know mine
horrendous. And all right, so we send her off with love and just pure awesomeness and the most positive vibes and every kind of love. She had 4 grandchildren, a daughter. I spoke to her daughter. I won't say what the conversation is about. However, I will say this, that she was a listener because she said some really nice things to me. I had no clue.
She did.
You're always on in my home, she said. My mother would listen to you, blast it, be like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? So I know what that is because of my mother, right? Or, anyone trying to get you to listen.
Yeah.
But now that she's not there, she's like, I remember quite a bit of what she was saying, and I need to understand this now. I need to understand it for her, but for me. And I go, don't do it just for her. Do it for you. Because once you start, it's not going to stop. Just know she'll be there the entire time.
Right.
And then you'll be able to
have that closeness.
The closeness, and then the confidence, and then the ability to know she's guiding you if you're listening. So she was a wonderful person and a wonderful being. She still is, because I found out on Aaron's show, I was live with him. I ate mushrooms, right? And then I was going to get off the air with him and just have a good experience. And then the text started coming through, and I started pouring tears and I bounced. However, I spent an entire evening tripping on mushrooms that were so strong that I ran outside, burst into tears multiple times. And I kept saying that, and I can't explain this the right way, but I did see it. It's so funny. That's Scooby-Doo I told you I watched. All right, so I watched the movie Scoob, right? The Scooby-Doo story. So the they're like it's cartoon animation, but it's like more animation now than it is cartoon, right? there are scenes where Scooby and Shaggy hug each other because they're afraid of something, right? Here it comes, right? So Scoob jumps into Shaggy's arms and they go zoinks, Scoob, right? They'll squeeze each other, and the screen, the background, and the sides and the colors start to pop and squeeze and move. And it's almost like 3D becomes 4D, becomes 5D. Like you just, whoa, 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 whoa. And you could feel their emotion.
Mhm.
And that, as for kids, is great. It's like, oh, Scooby, and the whole screen's moving like the biff, bam, boom. All right. It was doing that outside, but it made reality more real. It was a little scary because I was in a real mood. And I could hear beings talking behind the objects. So the fence was jumping out at me in the backyard. And then it was a layer of darkness would go over it. And then it would get like a color. And I could see that the rest of the fence was back where it's supposed to be. So I'm like, who's coming out from behind it? I'm waiting, and I could hear them talking. So I'd be like, come on, motherfucker. You come out now. Tonight you're gone. And they were like, all right, calm down. And then I heard her after 2 hours of this, lighting sage. I smoked a blunt. I screamed a few times because when they said at 8:00 here at night, people remember they were screaming when the pandemic started. If you lose someone or if you're just pissed off and want to yell, people were like howling and beeping fucking horns everywhere. But this was like midnight. But there's no one around in the back right now.
Yeah, you're with your mom.
Yeah, I was at my grandparents,
yeah, I remember that.
which was crazy. And I started screaming and yelling, and I heard her like, yo, you gotta calm down. You need to really calm down. It's okay. And then I heard like, yo, it's all true. I'm right here. You're there. This is there. And I was like, oh shit. And between all of that happening, it was very, very strong, and my emotions were out of control. So there would be like crying, then happy, then laughter, and then remembering different weird things, and then having my own thoughts of someone that might be sick around me that we don't know, because she was only 45. So I was freaking out. I'm like, she is too young. Like, give me a fucking break. Yelling out to the space Jesuses, being like, why, and all that. You go through your moment. And it brought me back to this weird baseline, but all of that was happening at once. It was really hard, and 2 hours passed really quick. And I went upstairs and I laid in bed and I started meditating. And then throughout the week, things got really, it was a relief talking to her daughter, that I'll say. I didn't know what to say at first. I don't know what to say about anyone who passes, because everyone goes, but and I go, yes, I do. But the problem is, if my mother dies right now, or Paula passes, or another one of my cats, I'll be numb. So no matter what you say to me, it might not click right now. So the words really have to resonate, but I don't want to overthink anything. I'm not writing a fucking book. I'm trying to help you. I can't hug you.
Right.
So I
trying to
send
comfort
words.
You the best I can.
And it came out perfect. What I would consider the right. I don't know. It was just the right thing, the way everything played out. Now, I'm going to say this. This lady gave me a tarot reading, Leo tarot reading last week. Remember, in the week before I got one, and I said, yo, everything she said came true just a few days early. She was like off on the days. Like, it came immediately, all of it. And I was like, what the fuck? So she did it again. She's like, you're going to get contacted by an institution, and they're going to,
you're not going to like them.
You're not going to like their response, but you're going to have to deal with it. But it's not the ending of things, because other things will open up and whatever. So I'm like, oh man, my court, I'm still fighting my job and all this other stuff. So I'm like, here it goes. I swear to God, the next morning I got the mail. I got Social Security denied me again. I'm like, how are you denying me if I had just for my shoulder? I had shoulder surgery, right? I had the surgery, was out of work. You owe me it's my money. 6 years now, 6 years. So Paul is like, it's karma related, kid.
I think you have an issue when it comes to money. I think it's karma related. I think that's why. I mean, they don't even. Frank isn't even in the system for a stimulus check, and I'm
like, I just paid my taxes again.
Yeah, he just paid his taxes too, so he should, I mean, whatever.
I was like one of the first people to pay, because my mother's nuts. She's like, yo, we got to do this right now.
I actually got my taxes done first this year.
That's right. You did.
Yes, I did.
High five.
Oh, okay. So Yeah, so
Adulting.
yeah, adulting it, it's fine. It's good. So I think Frank has an attachment with there's a karmic attachment with money. Any money he is ever to receive from anywhere ever in the world. And I think that's just the way it is. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's something that you can fight, because that's just the way it is.
Oh boy.
You know.
It's so yeah, so immediately I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then Gina, and I remember being like double twisted and then
Mhm.
going, I don't care anymore. Like, I love my peoples. I don't want anyone to pass. But I also do know that, all right, dare I say, when Darth Vader struck down Obi-Wan, and he says, if you strike me down, I'm going to become really potent, really powerful, like more powerful than you even know what's going
Well,
on.
sure, he's out of his body.
Okay, so you're right, right. Well, that's the whole thing. He merges with the Force. But here's
Yeah.
the thing. You know how he comes back as a Force ghost? I'm using this as a metaphor, everyone. When my grandmother shows up,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
what's
No,
the
yeah,
what's
it's the
the
same
difference
thing.
when
Nothing.
Uncle Eddie shows up? I've
There's-
shown her pictures of my Uncle Eddie
there's
today.
no
I'm like,
difference.
that's the guy that shows up. She's like, wow. My grandmother does it. So why wouldn't anyone else do? You become your whole, and then you help. But we're right on the precipice of moving into that area, so that contact will be like really intense,
Easy to make too.
very easy to make,
make.
right? Like, and then your awareness in the multidimensionality, you can process these conversations, you can hear them when you listen, when you start working on yourself. At my level, even though I need work all the time, but at my level, I hear them. When I get angry, I'll be like, and then I'll hear it like, you need to calm down, or you don't go over there, or whatever.
Mhm.
And they'll say to me, he's not listening, right? But I hear them loud and clear. I'm just like, fuck off. Why is everyone watching me? Like, when you're mad, you're like, don't watch me. I don't want you watching me, but I could see you watching me. Well, you're angry, so we showed up. We were here, and now your focused emotional output is what's causing you to see us the way you're seeing us,
Right.
which is my eyes are wide open and you're standing there. We had a conversation yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And I was like, yo, my higher self gave me the information.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
look, he's standing right there,
Right
just
there.
talking to me.
Mhm.
And I said, I had to say, hold on, it moves too fast. I can only talk to her. I have to translate it. And it was perfect information because it worked out. Like, we'll get into it as things worked out. Whew. So knowing this, I just want to say this. Look, my love and all of Fearless family's love and all the listeners' love to Gina Jin and her family at the time. But she is a potent energy. And her daughter said, keep her alive, keep the information alive.
Yeah.
So it's not going anywhere except
No.
to more ears, to more
No,
people,
no.
to more
Her
beings.
energy is strong.
So I know every time I choose to eat maybe a bite of a hamburger with a banana on the table, sitting right there, somehow she's going to find a way to like tap me right in the, right? Like, and that's awesome to me, right? That might make me eventually just pick up the banana instead of the hamburger. That's how these things work.
Mhm.
It starts
is.
as a drip, and then eventually you're just like, nah, I'll just take this instead.
Yep.
Right? No, I don't want the cigarette. I want the joint, or I don't want either. I'll take a water, right? Like, you just one day wake up like that. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, something I want to talk about real quick. Shout outs to
You covered the list. I can't see it.
shout outs to Lisa Cisco, Fearless family. I'm going on your page right now. I'm not going to show everyone, but I'm going to read something because I really enjoy the way you just kind of handled this.
Oh, yeah, she handled her business.
Okay, so triggering people with just written words. This is where we're at in this society. I'm not going to name names and say anything like that. It doesn't have nothing to do with that because I know it's happening everywhere. But I kind of sometimes tend to believe that it's more AI related, bots online, and that act certain ways.
Tiny group of people that just,
and then
start
there's real
fires.
people
Give me that.
that'll say something and you'll go, wait a second, you're telling me you actually, that's where you're at? That's where up here? But then I remember my family and I go, oh yeah, well, we're all at different levels. So it becomes a different thing. But just to keep it simple, the title of the show, Sacred Masculine.
Thanks,
Men Will Rise. Right? Hold on, that's not shared. That's shared. Let's see if I could bring it up. And I don't want to show anybody's names.
No, because
so I'm just going to read this. So this lady just asked, is this sexist? Men will rise. Right? And then the sacred masculine, what does all this mean? Right? And then Lisa's like, no, and she's laughing. And she's like, it's the balance is the sacred feminine, right? So she puts up a video in search of the divine masculine and feminine. And now apparently under it says no. She replies to Lisa, no thanks. So it becomes like this, but they're very nice to each other in the comments. They're friends cordial, and whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just want to show. It says it right there. See, actually, if you ever have a debate with someone or a talk with someone and it goes where you can't kind of find a middle ground at all immediately, you don't shuffle them off. You don't say, okay, fuckhead, get out of here. That's like a last resort for an angry person that doesn't feel like they could communicate properly. And right. I've been a victim of doing that shit myself a lot. Okay. So it says, I support, she does say, I support your thought, and with a little heart. Right. And then Lisa's like, it's all good. Lisa, you're a champ. I'm just saying, you got to keep it simple. You got to keep it nice, and you got to keep it beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it right there. Wonderful. I mean, but it shows just where people are at with information and how they'll handle it, and the words you decide to use and how you use them. All of a sudden, people are like, no, well, I'm not listening to that. And you're like, well, it's how you raise your consciousness. Oh, and you're like, oh, what did the word offend you? Did something offend you? Was there a dirty word in there somewhere? Men will rise. What do you think we're trying to do? Take over the world? Oh, we already did that weird shit, right? It didn't work. Right. So we've been promoting the sacred feminine. Hold on this show since the first show. Mother, Aya, mother, Paula. My mother is an example. All right. What do you think? Because you rise, everything's going to be all right? Just because mother is okay, that doesn't mean that the other 50% is what? Shit? What does that mean? That you're going to grow and dominate us? No, that's not how this works. So for all you airheads that think that it's a feminist thing or a ultra masculine thing, you're fucking wrong. You beat. That's how we say it here. What? That's what you think? You beat. Get out of here. It's absolutely not that. It's the betterment of the other half. It is the connection. It is the balance between both. If you're a queen, then for sure, I need to be a king. I can't be a jester. Oh, at least not all the time, right?
No, you're not a jester.
No. But you know what I mean? It takes a real king, and you're like, well, there he goes, king. It's the words again. Okay. It takes me to be a real understanding man that can still be man, but understands woman and balance. This is what it's about. It's not that you rise and take over, because you know what? There's a bunch of you dummies from World Star that are sitting at home going, yeah, sacred feminine, bro, while you're just pumping them out one after another and smoking meth. You, not so much. Okay? Great plan, but it sucks. So let me do it. Okay? Fucking terrible. Just like all the jerk off dudes. And we all know who they are, right? I had an argument. All right. This guy said to me once, come outside. This guy's starting shit with me. I need someone to take my back. So I go outside with him and I see the kid that he wants to fight with. And I'm like, oh, I'll fucking slap this kid right now. So he's like, no, just watch my back. So I go, no, I know, but he's a dick, this kid, right? He's a young guy. He's good looking. Has a dope Charger, right? Black on black. The stereo's pumping. So he gets out of his car and he goes, oh, you're hanging out with this fucking dick, to me. And I'm like, wait a second. I'll fucking smack. Like I'm like, like I'm starting to like work up. And then he goes, what are you getting so mad for? I fucked way more girls than you. So I go, oh, I can't fight you. You're a child. I go, you're my bitch, right? If this was prison, you would be my girlfriend. Right. And he was like, wait, what? I go, yeah. What do you think? Fucking girls is going to save you from me beating the shit out of you? Right. He started running around his car.
I was like, I'll fuck you up, kid. And he was way bigger. And he's like, nah, man, calm down. I was like, okay, see, that's not masculine. I was like, does that make you manly? Because you had sex with a lot of people and you're like 25 years old?
Yeah, what does that even mean? Like,
That's
what does that comment even really
well,
mean?
we have this giant conversation one day
Yeah,
about
like, what is that?
people run up on you and be like, what's up, kid? I fuck more girls than you. And I'm like, what? Like, dudes do that. I'm in the Bronx. This is the weird. I hear growing up around here, I've heard it all. They used to dudes do that. And I'm like, oh, so these are the players everyone talks about. And naturally, we all know who they are. I was in the hip hop scene, music scene. Everyone have sex with everyone and bullshits everyone. Okay, it depends how you dip in that lake. Now, if you're gonna swim in there, you know, in the bar, and there's cocaine in the bar, and there's a lot of people drinking it and smashed, and it gets brutal after a while when you watch, like, later at night what goes on. Now, is that what you're looking to do with your life as metaphor? Or are you looking to bring yourself online? Because whatever king or queen, or I'll use better words, whatever creators in there, in those bodies inside those avatars, are having a rough fucking time.
Because it's stuck.
They don't know what's going on.
They're stuck underneath all that gunk. That's
right. So that's a broken but healable, for the most part. Not everything's 100% guaranteed.
That's all the earthly. You got to get all that away.
Right.
That's all earthly.
Those are the
stuff.
sacred feminine and masculine in there.
They're stuck.
Because their higher selves are exactly
stuck,
what you want.
Yeah, they're just stuck in that.
So
they have to get out.
Yeah.
It's all earthly. That's all earthly. That's all breakable.
Yeah.
That's all programming.
Exactly.
Programming and fear. Because it's the response to what's happening to you.
Absolutely.
That you're dealing with.
See,
it's not the thing. That's the response to the thing.
Yes. And it's weird because we went into a masculine role and then pushed that agenda. Okay. Doesn't mean all men are bad. It just means that because we are men and have testosterone and shit, somehow man was like, I got this, took the information and left woman out in the Bible. Like, it's always Virgin Mary or this or that. It's never like my queen or like, where the fuck are the women, right, that are potent and powerful and all that? It's almost like they wrote them out and put men in. So then that's taught, and then we learn that, and then we regurgitate that back out into the world. You're not a man unless you don't cry, you little baby. Get up, or you're not a man. What are you, a girl? Oh, girls cry. When I grew up when I was in the 70s, that was a big deal. You cry and you're acting like a girl. He called me a girl. That was a big deal. That was before I was around, before your mama. I remember when that came into the mainstream, your mother jokes back then. Right? Crazy. So we're being taught this, right? So everyone's a victim to the misunderstanding and then following the system. But as you break open and you become awake and aware, it's your responsibility to change yourself, to fix that pattern in you. You can't fix other men. That's not your job. You fix you. And then you can teach, and you can teach how to heal and why certain things are right or wrong.
Oh yeah,
without it being social justice.
You can't fix anyone until you fix you.
Right. And then taking words. Well, if we took these words out, it would mean different things. And if we just put all women in, and no, that's not how you solve it. Right. It's a balance. Right. You want what do you when a woman's like, oh, I don't want sacred masculine. No, thanks. I'm like, well, what do you want in a man? What do you want? You want him to be in control of you? No, that's why I don't want to be sacred masculine. Okay, good. Well, sacred masculine doesn't control you. He protects you, but he doesn't force his protection. He doesn't pull the leaves off the tree or the flowers off the petal. He makes sure no one else does that. Well, I could do that myself. Okay, great. Then when you're 68 and you're like, I got no one, then what do you do? Right? Well, I got friends forever. Then you're 72 and you can't get up and down the stairs. Right? Do you want someone to share the responsibilities with? Right? Not provide for you. I'm not being nice. Paula and I do it really well.
Yeah.
We work in that figure 8, the infinity
Mhm.
of balance, right? There's no one in charge here. Sometimes she's the boss, sometimes I'm the boss, but we're always both boss. And we don't fight over that. It's just whatever experience we're occurring or that's occurring and we're involved with in our space. If she's the one that's telling me, yo, you need to listen to me, then she's in charge. Period. I'm listening. You got my full attention. I'm aware and I care.
Yeah. And then on to the next thing, because there's always the next thing.
Right. But if someone breaks in the house,
Yeah. Well,
and I'm standing there, right, the sacred masculine is going to be like, not in my house. That's not, I'm a man. I should be able to do those things. Right. Also, I'm taller than you. Right. Right. Yes. Okay. So isn't it easier for me to just reach up and grab something? Right. Is it? Oh, you're bothering me every fucking 5 minutes. That's what a lot of men do.
You get mad when I don't ask you yet.
Right. If I look in there and I see her struggling, I'm like, what are you doing? And I just get up and start doing stuff. Do you need help? Do you need help? I'm interested in your stories. Literally. I help work through things with you. It's not just being sexy and sexy time and then because if you don't have the whole package, you'll just be running door to door. Right? It's about the whole thing. Are you a friend? Are you a lover? What's the benefits of you being in the room? What do you bring to the table? Oh, there we go. About money. No. What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table?
How are you making this better? How are you making this crazy world that we have to live in better? What are you bringing? You're not in charge of anyone's happiness. Like I can't say, without Frank, I'm not happy. Frank makes me happy. Frank makes me laugh. I make me happy. And this relationship makes me happy, but it's not Frank's job to make me happy.
Although I will try and make her happy sometimes.
No, of course, but you know what I mean. It's not anyone's responsibility. Like, you have to do what you have to do for yourself, and then you meet somewhere in the middle. It's not control. Going into what you're saying right now, I feel like we're getting hit with a lot of male energy. And this is particularly how I feel. Other people may be feeling the same way, but this is what I'm feeling. Recently, we talk about these cats in the yard, the colony of cats that we take care of. We've noticed 3 or 4 new males that have been coming to eat recently. They leave and then they come back. And, usually they just migrate through. They don't stay. And they've been staying. And the funny thing is they're all unneutered males. They're feral cats that have not been neutered, so like that's on the list for, when everything opens up again, we have to call that nice lady Betty, because those boys have to go. But putting all that aside, I think they're here because there needs to be a strong presence of male energy. That's what I think.
So we're coming through a year or more.
Yeah. Of very
feminine
very
activation,
female energy.
And activation, dare I say, that the feminine in me during that time, as the women are rising, the feminine aspects in me are as well, which is what makes me understand Paula. And once again, I say this: if you do Aya and you do psychedelics, or you're aware of something and you don't invest into it and make it your responsibility, then you're not doing yourself a service, because you'll notice the bonds getting stronger when you bear witness and speak about it. Like, I noticed this, or I saw that, and you're like, oh, you did, and the way the conversations work,
you have to work it out.
Or but also in the positive lights, because there's more positive aspects. Like everything starts to jive is what I'm getting at, right? Your relationship starts to really mix it in there. But if the masculine doesn't come out of its shell, you're going to get a bunch of dummies, right? You're going to get a bunch of what you see happening in the street, or people won't leave that mental status of the old school, like serve me something because I am man, I work, so you serve, and all that has to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but we know this.
No, I know.
But watching that makes, we all know who does what, and it makes us sick. We're like, yo, man, we talked about this last week. You're gonna let them serve you, and then you're not gonna help with the plates and shit. But we're not in your house, right? We're out there, so you fucking help, right? Well, you got to change that. Well, you're a fucking pussy if you help. You're acting like one of them. What's one of them? A girl. Oh. So you guys are so close-minded that you think picking up a plate and washing a dish or putting it in the sink and saying thank you is a girly. What does that mean? It makes me feminine? Ask the girls in the room who they want to hang out with. Right? Ask them. Ask them who they always want around, even when he's a fucking grumpy bitch. It's me. Why? Because what do I bring to the table? I'm not just helping to help. I love everything. I want to help. I'm like,
you want to know. Yeah, you want to learn.
Can I do this? Can I try that? Can I do, and sometimes I do nothing. And it is one-sided, and it's service to others. And guess what? It flips right back around a little bit later.
Yep.
And becomes service to others from the other way. Right. Service to self, service to others. Back and forth, back and forth. There's not a thing I don't break a piece off and give it to you. And you're like, oh shit, we always save each other the last bite.
We won't share everything. Yeah. Oh, the last bite. The last piece of everything always goes bad.
Because no one touches it because we're saving it. I'm like, you have it.
No, you have it.
Right.
And then it sits there.
Now, with the eclipse and the energies that came through, it's taken way longer.
Oh my.
With the retrograde started.
This week was horrible.
And then
it was good. We had one great day.
Super fabulous day.
I think it was.
Well, we got a lot of work done. It was like Thursday.
Wednesday maybe.
It was either Wednesday or Thursday.
I don't even know. It was. We were rejoicing about Gina. Like during the day.
Yes.
Like just like storytelling and stuff like that. And we were here, and we sat outside. We set up. I ordered an umbrella for the yard, and we set it up. It was wonderful. We were just, all the cats were out, and it was just a really nice day. We were back and forth, inside and out, like kids, just inside and out of the house. We replanted stuff. We repotted some vegetables. It was just a really nice day. And
shout out to Kev Baker from the Kev Baker Show's in the house.
And then it got heavy after that. Like the next couple of days, like leading into today, like the energy got heavy. I was telling Frank, even the air pressure felt different. Like the air pressure felt very heavy in the air. And then I felt very heavy, and Frank was like, no, I'm feeling it too, but like very dense after that, the last few days, and very difficult. Like I had to bring my car into the shop. I just needed an oil change, and I was there for almost 3 hours, and that's never happened to me there.
Retrograde.
And I
wouldn't book shit because that's the kind of stuff that happens.
But it was just one of those freak things, and your mother was waiting for me at her house, and she was like, I knew I should have came and got you. And it was like one of those things where if she would have came and got me, they would have came with the part, and I would have been able to, to leave, and
you would have had to come right back. And
it was just a weird, but I did get to spend time with her, but it threw my whole day off. Like every day this week, something happened to throw my entire day off. And I have to say, I rolled with it. I was very resilient. I went with the flow. I ducked when I had to duck. I got out of the way when I had to get out of the way. And it was not a productive week, but I feel like I survived through a lot. And now it's Saturday, and I'm happy because we can close out this week and, get into next week.
Well, new creative energies come in.
Yeah.
But wait, hold on. So there's still even more. So all the cats are masculine.
Oh yeah.
And
So
we
they're
were
all boys. Yeah. All masculine. And I think there just needs to be a heightened amount of male energy around this geographic area right now.
So they're all boys, but they're real boys. So what I mean by real boys is we didn't do anything to them.
We didn't do anything to them. We didn't alter them in any way.
They're straight masculine
energy. And
energies.
There's a reason that they need to be here.
And
now.
they're hanging out and they're not scared and they're not weirded out. They're like, yo,
and
we're here. They're not hurting.
Yeah, triangulated around the ground.
It's weird. They'll sit around us and stuff, and it's very interesting. But then it was also Father's Day. Here's more. My father started hitting me up. Really threw me off. A lot. Okay. It was so weird.
Well, Gina passed on my brother's birthday, and I wish I had a better relationship.
I'm sure if I knew what was going on,
but I don't. So it was male energy.
It's got to be portal dates where that energy pours in and out of our matrix.
Male issues coming up. Male issues. You were a lot of Father's Day, my brother's birthday, Gina passing, male issues. And, the anniversary of my father's passing, 18 years he's gone.
That was another thing. Your father is passing.
Yeah.
Father's Day. Yeah. My father.
Yeah. And then
my grandfather went to the doctor. Yeah. It was this weird thing that happened.
Yeah.
All right. So I bugged out as well. Like I had to jump back and start creating boundaries immediately.
Yeah. We had that talk. We had
monster talk and discussion about what the hell's going on with the world. And y'all fucking people that are going crazy, right? Kev Baker knows this, right? It's good to see. It's good to see you too, homie. I love you, man. Kev Baker. I've always loved you. You're the best. When this shit goes on, right? We have to rise to the occasion in the moment to have the conversation that you would normally run from. Or tell someone fuck off, or be non-responsive, or be more of a dick. No. Are you repeating a loop, a cycle? Is it the same thing over and over again with the same person? But you cannot go anywhere. There's nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
You are here with me. Too fucking bad. And guess what? This is what I'm aware of. I haven't said anything. Is it always angry, Frank? Is Frank always angry? Is that how, or he's what, something else? You guys put masks on me. I'm tired of the masks. The reality and the fucking truth, right? Which everyone keeps dressing up. You're putting suits and ties on it, cute little fucking hats and flowers. You're painting it different colors. And you're like, oh, but look. It's like, no, dick. The fucking truth is the truth. And it's not my truth.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
This is the story, and this is the truth in this story.
And I'm not pushing ideals on you, and this has nothing to do with ayahuasca, and it has nothing to do with the etheric realm. Man, if you can't see this, then there's something wrong. Okay? So check it out. The truth is, and those truth bombs came out without, there was a couple of moments where there was massive resistance and ready to fucking, but it didn't quite go there. That came out, I'm pretty sure, from multiple people, but when they weren't around each other, to just release that stress and that steam, because I was doing it.
Yeah, it was hard this week.
But in your presence and when the conversation's being held and had, I can't hold it against you where you're at, and I have to understand what surface level what layer I can work with you in.
Right.
So when you finally start communicating somewhat properly and come out of the basic fucking loops you're trapped in all fucking week long, traveling. And then I go, hey, but this, and then bip. And that's all I say. And then the fight breaks out. And it's like, I'm not saying another word. You are not seeing the truth. Is this true? Is what I'm saying true? Blah, 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 blah. Is that true? 100%. Okay, so then why dance around everything else? And why get mad at me for saying it? If I'm not the one to say it, who's going to tell you?
Who's going to say it?
What did I say to you before? Right? If I'm not the one that's able to say anything to you,
Yeah,
Who's going to fucking
who's
tell
gonna
you
do it?
anything? Not that I'm trying to tell you something. I'm literally trying to say, hey, you remember this?
Yeah.
Well, this is what's happening when this is going on. So
Mhm.
remember, and remember what the plumber did, and remember how we can't stand him being here. So the choice is now back to you again to not push the lever to make it look even, because we know, because the vanity is a little off. Just leave it fucking crooked, or else it's going to squirt and drip water, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Right? But who would say anything to you? Who would say anything to me if I left the toilet seat up and peed all over the place and didn't clean up after? I mean,
No, totally.
then it
I get
becomes
it.
someone's job to fucking come in here and be like, yo, clean this shit up.
But I think that's the problem. I think
I have to be able to tell.
a lot of people don't want to address the real issues. They don't want to.
I'm not doing it to hurt you. I'm doing it to help the whole thing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said to Frank, like with the refrigerator door, I'm notorious for leaving the refrigerator door open, and now apparently I leave the water running everywhere I go. I don't know why I do these things. I really sometimes I wonder if it's really me. Today and yesterday, I feel like I'm not the right me. And I don't care if anyone understands what that means, but I feel like it's not the right me. And I have this thing, and I don't know why I do it, but I do it. And Frank is constantly behind me telling me, like,
just be aware of it.
Just
be aware of it.
Be aware of it. And I try, but there are some days when,
I get it. There are some ADDs that just go.
Oh, if you see the notice sign in the back, that's the sign that Frank had to get because these people are randomly leaving food for the cats.
They came into the fucking yard and put wet food down in plates all over my yard. And I came outside. We were looking for them a half hour prior. How many cats, this son of a bitch? I swear to Christ.
Because it happened right before the show. Remember last week?
I walked outside to have a smoke just moments later, and there was fucking food everywhere. I ran into the street barefoot,
looking for.
Where are you?
They're like ninjas.
Wait! I was going, I will find you, and you're like, they just want to help and maybe feed the cats, and I'm like, no. There could be poison in that food. Reggie was sitting next to the plate. The plate is empty. Fuck. Right? Just.
But that's a good cat papa, right? Worried, they put poison in the food or something. Please, my landlady yelled at me today.
Yeah, the landlady's ready to chop her head off.
She must have been having a bad day today because we were outside having coffee this morning, sitting outside, and one of the cats was sitting on the front steps, and I said, I think there's a reason she's sitting there. And I turn around, and the squirrel is on the side of the house trying to get a peanut that I had left. I leave a pile because now I can't sit out there every morning.
This is so funny.
So I leave it. So I finally got busted. So I've been doing this for years, right? I leave a pile of peanuts in between the flower pots, and the squirrel knows that's his pile, and he gets his nuts. Every morning I do this. And this morning my landlady was out on the terrace in the morning, and I was feeding. As I got caught red-handed giving the squirrel a peanut, and as he was taking it from my hand, she yelled at me, "Don't feed the squirrels!" The squirrel ran back up onto the porch, and she hit him. She pushed him with her hand off the porch. And he
Get out of here, man.
Down the side of the wall. And I went, okay. Then she goes, how many nuts you got down there?
I heard her say something like, are those peanuts you got there? Right? But
I said they're only 2 nuts. Meanwhile, she's gonna be 100. She can't hear anything, and apparently now she's got eagle eyes. She could see.
I'm telling you, I said something to my grandfather today with my back turned, and he heard me loud and clear. And I said, "You have fucking selective hearing." My mother's like, "He cannot hear you."
I said, "Oh yes."
I had my fucking back turned and went, right, and he fucking heard the whole thing. He answered me and responded, and I'm like, "You heard me?" And he's like, yeah.
He does it to me all the time.
Yeah, I go, you just tuning people out. I go, you're getting good at that focus. You should be great at meditating at this point. He meditates Westerns in black and white.
Yes. His And the funny thing is there's a whole Western channel on the
just because it's more buttons to press, he won't go.
He won't do it.
on
Like
the
even
Western
if,
app.
even if Frank puts the app on and says all you have to do to get another Western movie is press this button. There's like 200 that we can guarantee you've never seen. These are movies we know that you have never seen. You can.
I went on there one day. There was 1,200 movies, and I'm like,
There's got
they
to
have
be at
seasons
least.
of
There's got to
shows
be at least 400
that-
movies.
and
200
I was
movies.
reading them to him,
400 movies.
and he was
hasn't
like, "Oh, that sounds great." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, here you go." And then he looked at it and just went,
seen. Nope.
and handed me back the remote. It was so fucking funny.
Even I did it. I was like, Pop, I'm going to put it on for you. I'm just walking into the kitchen. Don't touch the remote. Just watch TV. And
Old
no,
people don't like to drink water, but they like to sit there with the remote
I
control
know that.
and just flip through the
It's like
channel.
he's- yes,
There's nothing on
it's-
TV.
You don't even
1,000
know.
channels.
You know,
There's nothing
and I
on.
wasn't getting sucked in again.
I've seen every show.
I
Well, we
told
got to the
you
whole program with the
7
new shows.
times-
No, future, can't do it. Yeah.
I was sitting with him. I was sitting with him in the living room 7 times. I thought a movie was just starting and I got excited because I didn't even know what movie it was. And then one movie I got really excited. It was John Wick 3. I thought it was just starting. It was over. And I was going, son of a bitch, this is the 7th time he did this to me. I watched more commercials and movie endings than I've, and this was days of it. And I was like, you know what? I can't. And he doesn't want to talk. He
Well,
doesn't
it's just
wanna-
old people
you
stuff.
know, and it's like I'm just gonna go inside and wait to be needed.
Yo, I was sleeping on the couch one day, and I do these like 1 hour power naps sometimes, right? And I went down, and as I'm trying to fall asleep, every time he flipped the channel, because the TV was very loud, and I had
Yeah,
like
you have
had to
to
put
put
earplugs and
in.
shit.
I know. I was just gonna say,
And then I have my eyes closed, and I can see like the energy come through the room as the channel's changing.
yeah.
And I'm like, how is this even occurring? And then he's just flipping it. So I'm like, and then I kind of passed out. And when I woke back up, he had the Charlie Sheen show on,
Oh,
2.5 Men or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Why?
I go, I heard a laugh track. It was constant. And then
oh,
I
yeah,
kept,
no, it's like ritualistic. I hate it.
it's so weird. When I was on the other side, when I was coming back in, I could hear them just talking on the sound set with
I
no
don't
one
like it.
laughing, trying to hit those punch notes.
Yeah,
And then it's just silence on the set, right? Like then when they say cut, they get to laugh and shit. So it'll be like da 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 da, and then you would hear
Yeah.
that's a laugh track. There's nobody there. There's nobody laughing. That shit, they play that on all those shows, but it really jumped out. So I'm like, why are you watching this? That dude is like HIV humping people, banging little kids, drinking tiger's blood. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he goes, it's a man show. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, you should change this. These guys are fucking stupid. This is
Right, Tim.
nothing like anything, because if he's anything like my ex, she used to watch General Hospital and then later that night
Ugh.
act like the character that thought it was in charge or whatever, that had to react outwardly to, you're gonna scumbag me, I'm gonna scumbag you, and I would never scumbag anyone. And she would I'm like, you know, this isn't General Hospital, and then she would come after me harder. But I'm like, so I watched it with you today. This is why I never watch it. I was like, I watched that episode with you today. I know exactly what you're doing. And she had no fucking clue she was even doing it. To her, it was real world shit. She was I know what she was doing in her mind, was applying what Sonny was doing on the fucking show. Like, you're a fucking mob boss. Is that how you talk to people? Right? Like, you cannot do that. So you assume the mental role of the television show, thinking it's reality, and it's not. Right? Even these reality TV shows they're fucking scripted. Okay. Even if you tell me, well, no, it's loosely scripted, it's scripted. They keep you in bounds. Whatever goes out of bounds doesn't go on air. Scripted. It doesn't have to be written on a piece of paper to be scripted. It could be the way it was presented to you. And then we watch it and we both remember the nights completely different than that. And then they're showing something completely different than what we even fucking remember. So there's your MK Ultra mind control going across the board, right? So it's happening on old people, young people,
Oh yeah.
middle-aged people. So let's say the 65-year-old group, right? Corona panic. How
A lot of
bad?
fear.
How bad is
Fear.
the corona panic to these women?
Terrible fear spiraling. Fear spiraling. Like you know,
I can't believe these fucking people going outside now.
you know, and
I'm like, whoa. And this isn't me taking a punch at my mother.
no.
This is now
this is
people.
all people now, and it's rough for Frank and I because we're trying to comply with her needs because she's worried about Pop getting sick, you know, and we're not socializing with anyone because we're trying to comply with what she needs, but it's kind of yeah, I like I just went inside
Yes.
and wait to be needed, you know, like what am I gonna do?
Yo, I'm gonna make a t-shirt when the site comes back up
But you
that says that.
you saw we were sitting in the
Aaron,
kitchen like
tag that fucking
you
thing
don't
and
know, Frank
remember
and I
that.
sit in the kitchen like we're having a coffee, like we're on a coffee break from like between the breakfast and the dinner and the lunch shift sometimes, and it's like you know it's your turn, like, and he goes no now it's your turn, you know, but you know you got to do what you got to do. It just sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
but you know
Break.
you have to do what you have
You
to
got
do.
to do what you got to do, and then you know what? When you get what you got to do done, you
Yeah,
have
get
more
out.
time
Yeah,
for
just get out.
everything
Like,
else.
you know, like I'm not, you know, like I don't mind. I never mind helping anyone, and I will do anyone needs, and as long as it is not demanded or expected of me, you can have anything you want, and you know that's basically true. But now it's like now Frank and I are learning, and again, this is part of adulting. Like you know,
Without boundaries, you're not going to get
we're
the
learn-
respect
yeah, we're
that you
learning.
demand or command in your head
Yeah,
somehow, and
we're
then go home and scream about.
we're learning the importance of boundaries, and it's funny because you know it keeps coming up. You know, Frank and I are married. We decided, you know, not to have children, and it's like, you know, when are we going to be seen in the light that you know, like
That
we're supposed to be
you hit
seen
an age,
in, you know, like it's like what
like we
what
grew
more
up.
can I do to prove to you that I'm a grown up?
We're almost
know?
50.
Yeah, it's like come on, and we're doing the best we can too, you know, but I am allowed, you know, we are allowed to set boundaries, and now we know it has to, you know, like now we know we have to do it. And you know we had a very adult conversation, the two of us, about boundaries and what we expect, and we just have
What happened was we had a breakthrough after the misery. We had a couple of miserable
I
experiences
think so.
that
Well, I
built
think that
up.
was all that father that you have to talk about, that all of this there's a lot of father energy issues out there in the air. Like even my dad, like I mean, you know, his anniversary comes, I get upset, I usually get over it, but this took 3 days to recover from, and I was very surprised because
There's jokes like
there,
when you go into a strip bar, oh look, everyone with daddy issues,
no,
right? But
well,
imagine exponentially outward.
a lot of that, a lot of even yourself, the communication back and
I
forth.
was gonna say I'm a
Yeah.
man and I have daddy
Yeah,
issues.
I mean, absolutely, you know, and it's funny because you
Or
were
had, I don't know.
preparing the Aya.
I've become El Papa.
Oh, Papa, you were preparing the Aya, and you know we were purging. I know it was the Aya. I mean, I purged, you purged, definitely that, and that was just from Frank making the Aya because he has a ceremony coming up. But
Did you just jump ahead of the fucking list again?
I did. I can't even see the list.
It says it literally on there.
Really? Does it? Where?
The Aya incident.
That's what that said?
Yeah, and you know you picked it up.
Like
So
Ace of Base.
is that what it looks like? Ace of Base?
Honey,
I saw the sign. I opened up my eyes and saw the sign. Then I talked about it, subliminally absorbed it, and then shouted it out before it was fucking time to. But it's okay because we're live every Saturday night.
I can't.
I've been breaking her chops all day.
But it's good because I thought I was gonna fall into a black hole. It's horrible. It's horrible. Whatever. Shut up.
She is never allowed near the fucking list because what she'll do, you be like, okay, I need 15 minutes of this, 5 minutes of this, 12 minutes of that. She'll do all three in the first 30 seconds of the show and then be like, okay, we're done. See you next week. Eating the pudding. Bye. The universe rewards bravery. Come Come on, I can break chops. I'm sorry.
No, you have. I've been good. You have. You have. It's all right. It's all right. Today was, yeah.
It was like my mother the other day. She asked me the same thing 20 times, and I said to her each time, right? Check this out. Hey, what are you doing over there? Oh, I'm trying to hook this up on here, but it's high up, and I need hooks, and I need a drill, and I need to do this. Well, can you hook it up on the outside? And I said, no, you can't hook it up on the outside. It defeats the purpose. But, I understand why you would say that.
Right.
But if
but
it gets
can't
wet,
happen.
it'll ruin it. And
Right.
then the wear and tear, etc. Oh, okay. Well, she walked one step, took a look, and goes, no, I really, why don't you just try and put it up on the outside? And I was like, well, I just spent 4 minutes explaining this to you. So here we go again. And then so she walks away. She starts watering shit. She comes back over and goes, I really think you should just put it outside. And I'm like, I really think you should get the fuck out of here. Right.
Yeah,
So
get away from me.
this was now it's going. When she hit 20, I stopped. I don't, it could have been fucking 40 at that point. I was like, yo, we haven't talked about anything except you telling me you think it should go up on the outside now for about 45 minutes.
She did it with the marigolds
right?
a couple of weeks before.
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right. She just kept.
I said with these fucking marigolds, I'm gonna plant your marigolds.
I'm like, we could talk about football or something.
Yeah,
Music.
but like we're planting parsley now. Like I got your fucking
But
marigolds.
People
Stop.
will do that in life with everything. They push that.
Yeah.
Because in their head, they don't
away.
see. No, it's not even the go away thing. It's they don't see the loop occurring.
No, but
right?
I get stuck in that loop too. Like I'll do it to you too. Like I'll ask Frank to do something. This is horrible. This is so horrible, and I'm going to tell everybody. And I never told anyone, but
oh shit, here it goes.
I do this. Well, I haven't done it because shut up. So shut up, Aaron. So I'll ask Frank to do something. Like for example. Feed the cat outside, Frank. And then I'll follow him to make sure he did it correctly. And that's not my intention. Oh.
I'll tell you what she does. She'll go, hey, you get me a cup of water? You don't want to get me a cup of water? And I'm like, I'll get you a cup of water, right? And then she'll follow me into the kitchen, stand right next to me while I pour the water. And then she'll go, here, bring this outside, feed the cats. And then I'll put it down. And she's like, don't put it there, put it there. And I go, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck away from me. Like, are you kidding
really
me?
I don't know why.
No, I do know why. We were raised.
Yes.
And we have, both of us have our both parents or whoever, the adults.
Yeah. Oh no, it was my aunt. It was fucking my aunt traumatized me. She fucking did. And it's hard to break. And he goes, like he says.
Did you put that there? Did you water that plant?
Yeah.
Did you do this?
No, but see the light. Did you just see the light flash twice? That's my aunt. Because he says, okay, Antoinette. Like, and the way he says it, and I know it is, and it's breaking habits, and I broke a lot of that.
Those are the cycles.
I haven't really done that to you.
Listen, we're breaking really, Paula's chops, but imagine the men out there.
I don't give a shit
that anymore. Are like, I'm a man. I think the classic example would be you're driving in your car and you won't stop and ask for directions.
Exactly.
Right? You're like, nope. Where the fuck am I? Where the fuck am I? Shut the fuck up. Where the fuck am I? I remember that as a kid, and they were smoking Marlboros or Carlton 100s in the boxes, just barely cracked the front window open a little bit, and it was fucking pouring rain, and everyone's yelling and screaming.
No
all you have to do,
no
seatbelts. All you have to do is say, hey, buddy, at the light, hey, which way is Jersey City? That's all. That way or this way.
Frank used to be one of those guys when we were in the car. If we got lost, he freaked out. So one time, to prove a point, because the last time we had gotten lost, I told Frank we were only lost for 3 minutes. So this had specific time, I had timed it on my phone, and it literally.
What a.
Shut up, Aaron. I love you. It literally, we were lost for 3 minutes. And I said, Frank, I timed it on my phone. Literally, it took 3 minutes. And if you're going to get like a crazy person, we're going to have to take separate cars because I can't handle the stress. Like, you got lost. Like,
Driving used to make me crazy.
what are you going to do? You
It
got
used to.
lost.
I don't give a shit no more.
You're not performing. Like,
Hey.
we're it's, you know, no, but we're not rushing to a show.
No,
You
I
got to
know.
worry about being lost, you know. Yeah.
We all have to learn how to look at ourselves and say, is it possible that I'm the cause of this? And, you know,
Yeah. Yes.
that's
Is
exactly what it
possible
is.
that I was a dick and I am the cause of this? And the answer is yeah, it's possible. It probably is 100% possible. Just stop.
Peter, you're right. I use my GPS all the time. You know what it is? After like 30 times, it's way less, but I'll say 30 because I still go see a few of my buddies and I don't know how to fucking get there
Do you
without
know
the
I
GPS.
forgot how to get to Raleigh's? I ended up going to the
You just go right down.
I know, but I couldn't go down Ryland because they had the stupid barricades up.
So you go Neil.
I did
Oh, I
go
could
down
see
to
how.
Neil, but I cut
'Cause
the
then it
block
goes the other
too
way.
short, and I was like, "Where am I? Where am I?" And I was
Could
like,
you imagine that?
"Pull
That's like a
yourself together."
mile and a half away.
Yeah, because I haven't driven anywhere. He goes, "Oh, your car is so dirty." I was like, "Okay, Raleigh, all right, it's dirty.
Don't disrespect me, bitch. I need my
I haven't
oil
gone
changed.
anywhere. Like, please, I just want an oil change. Like, thank you. You know, don't judge me. Whatever.
Oh man.
It is what it is. I just, you know what it is? I'm just not in the mood for anyone's shit. I really am not.
Well, not at these moments. I feel like
no,
like
I have no.
so
I have
earlier
no strength for
before
it.
I left the house today, Paula and I were having a pretty
Yeah,
good
we had a
time.
good day.
I have not been sleeping, and last night I slept.
Last night, I woke up on the couch. It was 12:30. You were in the bed sleeping. I checked on you and I made sure everything was okay. And then I said, you know what? He's sleeping. I went back on the couch because I didn't know if my getting in the bed was going to wake you up. I didn't know how long you were there. And then you slept until
This morning.
after 9:00. So you got.
It was at 9:00.
Yeah, you got good sleep.
I opened my eye and I had to get. I started choking and gagging.
Yeah.
So if your sleep patterns have been completely crazy, completely understand. How many of you because earlier today everything was great. I came home, you were a completely different person. I was only gone 2 hours, right? And you were like, bro, I can't. And
that's why I texted you.
That text came in, that last one that said, when are you coming home?
Yeah, but
I was sitting here when I got that text. So I was like, did you text me?
When you because
I'm not getting text messages on my phone.
You know, I never do that to you. Like if Frank has to go to his mom's, I have no problem because usually I'll go like the next day or I'll go in early in the morning and I'll hang out with her for a couple of hours and then I'll come home, whatever, you know. So like we're both there back and forth. It doesn't really matter as long as someone's there. So what was my point? Oh, you had to go to your mom's. So I said, I'm going to stay here because we were just there the day before. So you said, you're going to go to your mom's today. And I said, no problem. I said, Frank, I tried to clean today and I tried all morning and it wasn't working out. So I said, oh, good. Frank left. As soon as Frank leaves, I'll put music on. No, wasn't happening. All right, when Frank leaves, I'll try to take a shower. I'll try to do one productive thing when Frank leaves. No, I managed to get everything into the, like just tidy up the kitchen, not clean it, just tidy it, like literally tidy is.
You can see she's having a problem.
I am.
Describing the fucking story.
Speaking, like just things were so hard. And I actually texted him and I said, hey, when are you coming home? Because I already knew that's when it started falling apart. You know, and Frank got home and he was joking and he was like, oh, you're smoking too much weed. That's why you feel like that. And I was like, no, Frank, there's really something happening to me. Like I don't feel like I'm in control of me. You know, like I definitely do not feel in control. And yeah,
we do
that's
the like
my
5
that,
to 7.
that's our thing. That's
Like we
my
just
thing.
I go down for an hour hard
The
or
other
2 hours, and then I'm up until fucking 5:30 in the morning,
the other night,
and then I sleep until 10 o'clock, and then I'm up.
the other night or yesterday, I don't remember if it was yesterday
Shout out
or
to
the night
Shoni
before.
Cage.
I fell asleep around dinner time. I didn't even eat dinner. I fell asleep. Frank finished feeding. I did the first shift of feeding the cat. What is that?
He's quoting you.
The shit.
That's what you sound like. Fuck you talking about, Aaron?
No
Starting
way.
shit.
No way. We're always back and forth. No way. You know what? If Frank was having an affair, the universe would be the first to tell me anyway before it even happened, because he can't get away with anything. Because even when he strays from a story, the universe is like, and then I'm like, oh, Frank, they're telling you, bring it back. But that hasn't happened in a long time. But
all right, so speaking about reeling it in, I want to talk about something that happened.
Just let me finish.
Okay.
So I had to text him, and I really was feeling very unsteady. Like I didn't want to make him come home, but I needed to know, like, will you be coming home soon? Because I'm afraid to be alone in this house. Like I
Why?
can't even.
It's going to tie into exactly what I'm going to go talk about.
The energy was so strong that I just felt like
the sun is so fucking bright.
I was
behind those clouds. You could feel it coming through.
And I kept going outside all day.
Yeah.
Standing outside and coming back in, outside
just
and coming back in.
Bursts.
Just to be near, and even barefoot. And you know, it's funny because
we usually I'm getting dark.
Yeah, but
we usually just sit outside the whole time.
Yes, but this is the first year I've ever gone barefoot because I've had so many surgeries on my right foot, and for years my foot was held together with pins or screws. I never walked barefoot. So, but this year I was like, you know what? No, I'm pushing through. And I've been barefoot, and I purposely going outside and standing in the grass barefoot and standing on the concrete barefoot and just being in nature barefoot and getting yelled at for feeding a squirrel barefoot. But the energy was so heavy and so dense. I couldn't even trust taking a shower by myself without him in the house, just in case I fell and hit my head. Like that's
a scary thought to have.
That's honestly why I waited for you to get home.
That's a scary thought to have.
The energy was so bad. I didn't want to fall. The energy was very heavy. But it's going to go.
I didn't get that text message till I was already here for an hour. So I was looking. I looked back at you. I said, "Are you texting me?" Mm-hmm. And when I looked,
I remember.
I had your other two that said, "Oh, bring the mask."
Yeah, bring the mask. Because he bought this really cool mask. So I said, bring it home. I want to see it. And then, when he came home, I was like, Frank, something's wrong. And he was like, oh, you just smoking too much.
I was teasing her. So there's the flip of the switch. It's that quickly now.
Yeah, it was you were there 2 hours, right?
Middle of the day.
3 hours.
We're getting blasted.
It was just
through whatever energy's coming out of that sun portal.
Rapid decline.
Yeah, my eye is doing this.
Yeah, see, it's twitching, right? Your eye is twitching.
Like one's, oh damn! Do not turn me into Biggie Smalls during this broadcast with these eyes.
Remember when my eye was twitching?
Yeah.
You actually saw it closing.
Oof. So you're gonna get all those symptoms, and it's all gonna get crazy.
So
but
how
now,
is that gonna tell you?
Well, because of the purge.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we're all nervous because the energies are high. Well, what's it doing to you physically, right? So let's ask Paula, and I'm going to ask the chat room physically. What are your symptoms? And like, do you shake? Do you stutter? I'm stuttering. When the fuck do you hear me stutter?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I see. I can't even.
It's like breaking through that something's there, and what the fuck?
Yeah, something's.
I want to just go live. I wanted to restart meditations this week in the Fearless group. Every time I got hit with the energy by midday, I was like this.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
And then I kick back up late at night.
Right. Same thing with me. Same thing.
So
in the afternoon or in the evening, I want to sleep.
And
then at night, I'm awake.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
They tell me that's okay. Just wake up.
Yeah.
And you.
Yeah. If you can't sleep,
It's
you can't
Friday,
sleep.
right?
Right.
You off today. Do you off tomorrow? You ain't got shit to do.
Right.
Who cares? So that's how they explain it to me. They're like, just do what you got to do. So I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Now, how many during these times where all this is popping off have decided to use psychedelics? Anyone in the chat room right now? Anyone? Psychedelics? Anyone? 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 Shout outs to Kev Baker. Thanks so much for tuning in, man. I hope you're winning at whatever game you're playing. I love you guys so much. Sending you all positive vibes. I decided I'm going to use psychedelics all the time whenever I choose to, right? I ate some before the show tonight as well.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, we went live immediately. I was eating them, and
yeah.
Oscar jumped up and went in the bag with me and then was like,
Oh, did he want?
no. I was smoking and eating them going, I love you. I love you. And then Oscar was going, and I was like, I love you.
Yeah.
And then I looked
Oscar's been very cuddly.
and then
with
he
you.
you know when he likes the weed? It's just so weird. The cat will tell you if he
he's
likes
so weird.
the weed. He'll
Now-
jump on the table and be like,
Now we don't give Oscar
we
weed.
don't
but
blow
if
it
you
in his
have-
face or
no,
nothing.
and
We're just doing our thing.
please, when Frank and I smoke,
And
we
he'll
have
keep getting
have-
up in your shit.
Yeah, we have 3
like-
fans we run. Yeah.
Like he's bugging the fuck out. Like, give me
Yeah,
more. I
sometimes
want to
he likes
smell
it.
that. And then other times he's like,
He's offended.
he's fucking offended. He'll run away. And just that's it. He'll put his ass
Yeah,
up
but
in
he
the
was
air.
leaning into it.
Oh man,
he
he
was
was.
leaning into it.
It was just a weird moment. And then I remember that I did that before during Aaron's show.
Mhm.
Where he was like, that's all you ate was that cap and stem. I'm like, that cap was this big.
Yeah, you said it was like
it-
a Smurf Village.
It looked
cab.
like the top of the right, and then it was just flattened. So I thought in my head, body of Christ, amen. Right, like the true.
Really?
Well, it fit.
That's funny.
Well,
That's
when I went to Catholic school,
No, that's
the
funny,
weirdest shit
that's
is
funny.
Father Tom is my fucking cousin now, right? And then he used to do that shit, and they used to say,
Yeah.
here, we'll give you dirty Catholic boy talk, right? Yo, Phil, I saw how you acted when Father Tom took the host out of the package, or out of the cup, right? And how you were up next, and then you were like, I learned how to take it with my hands. Right, because that's how you gotta walk out to him like you're juggling his fucking nuts, and then you gotta get like your cup and balls, and then you gotta go put it in the hand, then you gotta take it out like this, and then you gotta put it in your mouth like that, right? Or you just walk up and go, right? So we're like, and he says body of Christ, and then gives you whatever, and then you say amen and put it in your mouth, right? So we'd naturally just be like, hey, Phil, we saw you up there like this, right? And then just go, ah. What are you trying to tell Father Tom? So we used to go through this shit all the time, but now as an adult, I have problems, right? Because of all the shit that I had to follow and deal with. And then I'm there with an actual mushroom cap that was flattened that looks exactly like the host when you flip it around. Because the host, right, is made out of that flat, thin
it's
wafer.
Yeah.
But there's a design on it. So it's a half and then a quarter, right? And then designs, or I'm doing it wrong. So it's this way, and then there's designs in those open. I keep going the opposite way, this way and this way. Keeps reversing it on camera. I'm like,
I just yawned. Sorry.
So I looked at the cap and it looked like that exactly. And it all came back together, as you're holding it, and you're like, oh, look what it is.
Because I think
The Christos.
because
The actual mind-changing,
I think
organic
this is going to be
connection to God.
I have a feeling this is going to be tied to male issues, father issues this time, because we purged while you were making that ayah.
Well, we're not there yet, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you're right.
Sorry. I feel like I can't even really speak.
Do you want to take a break?
No, I'm good. But I think there's just going to be a lot of male male issues coming up because there's a lot of male energy.
I'm thinking
that's
about this as
protecting
I'm
us right
making
now.
a joke, and
Like,
it's all
you-
about like us Catholic boys in Catholic
But
school
that's what I'm saying.
and like sexual
But that's what
weirdness
I'm saying,
with the
because,
priests.
because the male energy that's here is here to protect us. So I have to believe that there's a lot of male issues coming up. I don't know if that's
Well,
that could mean anything.
we walk through, well, angry males, let's say protesting.
Could mean anything. I just
And I'm
that's what
not-
I feel.
It's not about race or anything like that. It's just you'll see the lash out.
No. Male
the
issues,
lash out-
dad issues, father issues. Definite.
And what do fathers and sons do? They let the son lashes out at some point, feels that he becomes maybe the father or the man, and then too many lion leaders in one house, right?
Yeah.
True sacred masculine don't have that issue. Everyone rises together to allow you to do the jump off,
Right.
if you choose to do the jump off, to just becoming your own man. You're always allowed to become your own man the whole time. It's just you have to teach and lead by example. A lot of times my father, I had a giant thing, whether they were right or wrong, I would go, you know what your favorite line is? Do as I say, not as I do, because I catch you doing stupid shit. So it's always, did you see what I was just doing there? Yeah, never do that. Or I don't want you to do that. Well, I saw you doing it. Well, don't do that. But you're doing it all the time. So we're learning through that,
so
instead of
it's
not having to bother with that and just
mixed
being
messages constantly. Mixed
Miracle.
messages.
Hallelujah.
And it is unclear. It's also because this used to happen to me. They're expecting you're a child, but they're expecting you to behave like an adult or respond like an adult. And it's like,
But you're not.
But I'm 12.
Well, younger.
But you're very responsible. But I'm still 12.
I'm still a
like
kid.
I'm a kid. But you get through it. But this is a very this is going to be very it's going to be very curious to see what happens, because I think that we're going to be closing out a lot of
the males have to walk through their problems like the females did.
Yeah.
The thing is, the females needed to do it first because they're rocking in the background, right? And they're rising, and kind of eyes aren't really on them, but they rise.
But I think you're right, because 2018, 2019, I mean, we were bombarded with female energy here.
Yeah.
Protecting this area. So I'm curious to see how that's going to manifest. Why these boys are here.
So much more than that.
Yeah.
While the woman rises, she has to get to a level way higher than the man, right? Well, they always say a woman's much older for her age, blah, 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 blah. They give you all kinds of things, but there's a lot of truth to that. So, but you rising, when the man starts to rise, what he walks through, I've noticed that the men act more childish than the women do. The men have more problems with it, the rising aspects. A man will think rising is like fighting in the bear in the circle, or wrestling someone to the death. It's like, dude, it ain't nothing fucking like that, dude.
No,
this isn't a movie, bitch.
No, it's cleaning up. It's who sees
right?
the cat puke first that cleans it up.
Not even that. It goes beyond. You go back to like the stories I was telling you about my younger, it was just fucking me up. And I was traveling through time with you, showing you just a few examples of how fucking crazy it was. And you're like, God damn, how did you even survive that location? And then I'm like, I know, that's the whole thing. And bursting into tears.
Because here you are now. You're not there anymore.
Now imagine me 5 years ago having to have that breakthrough. It was intense. I was having a coronary hole on the floor, flopping like a fish, crying like a baby. And I needed someone to fucking hug me. I needed it. Paula was in a position of being a step ahead of me, right? So she can just hug me and be like, it's okay. I get it. And I'm like, oh, well, that definitely fucking helped a lot, right? So the man needs that motherly thing. He acts like he don't, but you a fucking liar, because you need it just like everyone else needs it. All right. You're the 1% that don't. Congratulations. You're a real fucking standoff guy that doesn't need to be touched by a woman. Fine. We have those guys. All right. Whatever. But for people like us, I want that. I want to be hugged when I'm like, oh my God, I'm lowercase, I'm crossing through this and it's
Scary.
like, all right. So I'm going to tell you quick. So this kid I grew up with has a nickname. I don't want to use the nickname. Everybody will know who it is, but it's like a hard name, right? Where you'd be like, oh shit, that's a pretty fucking hard name. I don't really want to fuck with that guy. He saw me. We kind of look alike. He's like blonde hair and I'm dark hair, right? So we saw each other and I look like I do, and I'm in really good shape. I look really good for me. And then he was, I think he's a year younger than me, and he looks like a mess. Now, he was jacked when we were younger. He carried a piece. He was kind of good looking. He had a big fucking mouth. And there was always problems or whatever. So I ran into him. And now I had just walked through my experience where I realized I was a big ass bitch, and I flopped and screamed and realized what happened. And then I had a realization of what I do to people like that are close to me. So you,
Right.
like the pressures I put on the women around me because of the way I didn't treat women bad, but you knew what my issues were. Right. So you're like, oh, I get it. So you're fucked up because they're fucked up, because you're fucked up because they're fucked up. It's like you can't really blame one another. You got to heal yourself so you just don't send it back and forth.
Right.
So I'm realizing that.
Right.
And then I'm thinking of my mother, like, oh, how much pressure do I even put on her? I only know you a couple of years. I know my mother my whole life. How much pressure do I put on this poor lady? Then I go to the tattoo parlor and there's this kid and he's looking at me. I don't even know who he is at first. I'm just some fat kid looking at me, and he's looking. He's wearing like XX jogging pants, but he's my height. So it looks really weird. Like he was brown. I'm like, wait a second. He was breathing. And he came up to me and I said, yo, that's this kid. So I'm like, I can't say his name. So I go, hey man. And he goes, now we used to have beef kind of, but not. And then he like, oh, Frank, I've been wanting to see you. So I'm like, oh, here it goes. I've been wanting to see you. Here comes the fight. And he goes, you're the shaman now, right? You're the guy they're talking about. And I go, oh yeah. How'd you hear about that? He goes, I'm in the tattoo parlor. So it's like, oh shit. Okay. So he goes, I need your help. You need to save me. I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, I need that ayahuasca stuff, or the whatever it's the fuck it's called. He never said it right. So I'm like, all right, what are you on? He was on every fucking thing, every pain medication, Xanax, antidepressants. I was like, what? They were drinking, smoking weed, and sniffing cocaine. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm like, but what I saw, when you touch someone and you're like, it's almost like some people say, well, I touched them, I saw them die, or I could see their death, or I saw what they do, or who they touched the wrong way, or I rubbed the coat and I felt whatever that, I had him like this. And then I look back and I see him, what he does to his mother. I said to him, do you live at home? He goes, yeah. I go, how old are you? He was like, not even a full year younger than me. He's like, yo, you don't understand. I hurt my back at work. And what happened to your back? I got all these vertebrae that are fucked up. And then they told me I wouldn't walk. And I'm looking at him. And now I'm hearing kids when we were younger go, that's like the other you, the blonde head version of you from Matt. That's like the other park kid. That's you over there. And I'm like, you don't say that because he's a bit of a problem. And then people always thought I was a problem. So there it is. So now I'm standing face to face with him, and we have the exact same problems, the exact same issues. So we look alike. We have the giant eyes, but now he's really fat and fucked up, and I'm not. But I was on that path, remember?
Right. So you're forced to look in a mirror.
I was like,
yeah, that could have been you. If you continued being a dick.
My anxiety was so bad from looking.
Yeah.
It's choking me I'm thinking about it going, oh, so I felt instantly horrible for this kid. So I was like, so there is no fight left in him. But what I saw was him screaming on the floor, begging for pain medication, being creepy with people because he needed drugs. I saw him doing all kinds of weird shit, and then being in his house going, Ma. And then I'm going, oh my gosh, what he's putting on his mother. That was the thought. And then because the thought earlier was, what am I putting on my mother and on you? Because we live together.
Oh, that was nice of you to think.
Well, these are the two women I love, so much. So this is what the sacred masculine does. He reviews himself. Am I being worthy? Am I being honorable? Am I being caring? You know, I'm not just letting her run over me either. Believe me, Paul, I do for Paula because I love her. I'm never going to stop doing for her because I love her. But when she runs on me, right, she knows she's doing it. She'll go, oh, okay, no, never mind. I'll do that one myself. I'm like, well, you're standing right there, so it's all good. But she does more amazing things in my life, and that's just a small, tiny fraction of the pie. What about everything else? So there's no judgment. We all do stupid shit, stupid things, and crazy things, and intense things, and non-intense things. And sometimes we're overly lazy, and sometimes we're a little bit depressed. I heard my mother talking about depression today, and I didn't know she dealt with any of that. But I heard her talking to one of her friends, and I was fucking nosy, and I don't care.
Oh,
No, because I do care.
You'll know, right?
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to point.
No, that's fine.
That's a little thing I'm picking up from someone. So I'm like, I didn't know you're battling with that shit. I know how to handle that. And it brings me to this last part, ayahuasca. It's ayahuasca time again. I didn't know. Look, as soon as I said it, 44. So I felt the woman side of me, inside of me, activating that masculine side, but I needed that internal hug, which I was getting physically from you. I kind of was with my mother to one degree, but there was like this weird off balance with back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then it just slid into place with the proper conversations came out in the proper moments, and everyone reacted in the optimal reaction. I couldn't understand it.
Optimal timeline.
There was no fighting, no screaming.
Yeah. She heard. You heard.
But Aya is listening. Mother Aya.
Yes.
Ayahuasca.
Yes.
So bookings are coming hand over fist. People that are local and around are like just coming up and going, it's time. I don't care. I'm traveling to you.
I think people,
and it's a wrap.
Yeah, people are feeling the call. I totally.
They're fighting it now too. Yeah. Like they're fighting towards it. Like, no, it's time.
Like it has to happen now. Like I don't want to wait any longer.
Right. So
I think people were forced in this quarantine situation to really look inward.
Shout outs to Ellen. I don't know if she's listening.
Yeah, I think people were forced to take a really good look in and see what they liked.
Once again, Aaron, another etherical translator, defines it perfectly. The feminine magnetic dynamic holds the creation space for the masculine electric to project creation space or creator space. We work as a team in tandem. I can do what she can do, and she can do what I can do through practice, but we both do things that is the other side of the coin, but we're one coin. We're not separate. We look separate, right? Like she's there. Look at her. Oh yeah. What's up? And look at me. Oh yeah. What's up, man? All right. But we're really one team working symbiotically. We're not merged into one character. No, we're working in symbiotic harmony as DNA spins
That's a
up
very
the
nice
spiral.
way to put it. Yes.
We're working in that each part and piece that we can add to the table and to the equation, to the conversation, to the storyline that is of the positive highest fucking frequency, because why the fuck not? Why can't we? Why, like you say, why can't we win the lotto? Why can't I win the lotto? I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's a good thing. I'm like, yeah, true. It doesn't have to be the lotto. It could be anything, but that's the metaphor.
Right.
Right. We did technically win the lotto. How you doing?
Yeah.
My name's Frankie Lotto.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we go through this one piece, one conversation at a time, by not holding it in, which we had problems with at one point or another. And we talk about it then and there.
Yeah, no, we're
this
very
hurt
good
my
at
feelings,
working.
or
Yeah,
this didn't hurt my feelings. This was awesome.
Yeah.
You got to hear how we fucking talk. I talked about it on Aaron's show, but your punchlines and your whatevers. But the more she hangs out with me, the more vulgar she gets in a comical way, which you're not expecting to come out of her mouth in such a freestyle moment. So you can't plan these moments. You can't pay for comedy like that. That's why when you get hit with it, it's like lightning and it drops you to your knees and you're kind of like, did you just, I can't believe you just said that. And it's that's what's up. But remember when those were like in between? Like, it seems like we're getting better at the comedy to the relationship.
Oh yeah.
Like in the beginning, everything you could get offended by everything.
Right.
And then late in the relationship, there's only a few things. So you could pick on just those things. And then if you're stubborn and stuck in your ways, it kind of hurts. You could feel the
now you
joke
can
make
pick
a
on
hit. And
everything. It's
then,
like,
so you gotta not. All right. So the modern philosopher, right? The Socrates, the comedian, looks at you and goes and makes the joke. Now, there's right and wrong with that. It's your moral playground. But when you're in a relationship, just like the reading the letter thing that I did before and singing the song.
Yeah.
Right. Were you offended by that?
No.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay. So that's a metaphor for what we do, right? Where we just, you laugh, you sing, you make the joke, you know, whatever it is. And then you laugh because.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Why are you so tight?
Like, Frank.
I had a dream that I said to my nephew, I want you to go over to your dad, right? I want you to put your hand in his butt and pull the giant stick out of his ass. And he goes, why would I ever do that? And I go,
just watch.
Go do it.
Right.
He's your fucking dad. And he goes, he's your brother. So I was like, fuck, this kid's right. So I go, wait a second. So I don't know. Hold on a second. So I debated him. I go, who's closer in relationship to Rob? Me, because I'm his brother, because we were born through the same mother, or you that came out of his little sack?
He's 7.
Right?
You're fucking, no, I'm sorry. He's 8 now. I'm sorry.
And he goes,
it's not even fucking double digits yet, Frank.
I think I'm closer, Uncle Frank. So he goes up to him. He goes, hey, Pop. And he does it. And then I go, what the fuck? And they both have this giant, like, their eyes open. And I'm like, oh, my brother's going to lose his shit. I got to go over there. And he pulls this staff out of his ass.
Really?
And it made him go, oh, thanks, guys.
I wonder what that means.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I wonder what that means. You jumped
okay,
at it, huh?
wait. So now let's get back to the conversation. I want to read. There's a lot going on in here. Okay. We made Aya. I made Aya. And then I have a new screen on the window and a mosquito net. And it's keeping like the heat out. So it's keeping things in. So even if we have circulation in here.
Oh yeah. In the kitchen it smelled.
The
so
pot
like
I'm using is that big. And then it fills to the exact top. And then I have to reduce it to a few cups.
Right. So it's like
so it's
making
just on
soup. And it's
for 2 days.
Yeah, so for 2 days it smells like Aya.
So
and you have to stir it.
Yeah.
So
and we have it on the timer and all that. So we're going over there doing that. And you forget now. I'm not the Aya. It's just acacia. So the Aya isn't mixed. The parts aren't. It's acacia and Syrian rue. So the rue's not on. I keep everything separate. And then that's how I guarantee the technique to get it in your body. Because how many grams of rue do you need? You need 5 grams of rue. Okay, I'm going to give you this cup. The science behind it is in this 150, there's 5 grams in the 150 mLs. So when you pound that, that's all you need. That's it. Right. Then 30 minutes later, 20 minutes later, I have you drink the acacia, which is the thing that activates within you. It's the Aya. So, and the rue kills all the stuff that would eat away the ayahuasca. Right, allowing you to actually have the experience. So that kind of is like a guarantee. So I never put the rue on while the Aya is on, or I never have them both on at the same time in the house where there's not circulation of some kind. Right. So now 16 hours into it, I throw the rue on the magic butter machine and then take it out and start reducing it. Mm-hmm. And I go to bed that night. I'm going to tell you guys something that's just fucking crazy nasty, right? So I go to bed, and I was telling you I had the dream where I was in a suit. They put me in some outfit, and they were like, okay, you ready? And it looked like a scuba outfit. And I'm like, all right. It looked like, and then I'm like, what does this fucking thing do? And then a bear came out and charged me and just grabbed me, goof, and fucking flung me. And they were like, stay loose. So when it bit down, the suit hardened, right? And then it didn't hurt,
Right.
but it ragdolled me. So he's like, when you land, to not fuck your arm
Right.
up and stuff, stay limber. So then I hit the floor and the bear was on me immediately trying to fuck me up and not a scratch.
Right.
Then a pack of dogs, they were trying to tear me in half and they couldn't do shit. They were biting and hurting their teeth at that point. And I'm like, okay, so the smaller animals are having problems with their teeth. And then he threw me in the water with a fucking shark, right? And then it bit down and broke its teeth straight up. So then I started going, oh, this shit's good. I started going, oh yeah, this shit is real. Wait a second. I think I got to take a shit.
You don't have to tell us.
I opened my eyes and I was like, where the fuck am I? Right? I got up and started running into the bathroom. I was shitting myself, right? But it was crazy. So I get into the bathroom. I go do what I got to do, right? I'm purging it out. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's graphic.
No,
so
I think it's brave of you to tell the story. You didn't have to, though. It's fun.
This wasn't a normal bathroom experience. This was
it's
the hardest purge.
It's a purge. It's not.
I
poop.
thought I
It's
got
not.
sick.
It's not.
Well, the first minute, I was like, oh my God, what's happening to me? And then it was like an ayahuasca purge. I was shitting so hard that it was destroyed. I had nothing in me. Nothing.
So you thought.
And then I went again and again and again, liquid, just pure liquid. But at one point it was water, like water was coming out of me. And I'm going, whoa, I'm sick. I know I'm sick. Wait, so I'm cleaning everything up. I'm like fucking losing my mind. And I'm wondering why I'm not waking up. Like I'm not snapping out of it.
Right.
I shower, I clean everything up, and I'm still like, and I come in here and the fucking eye top is off and the fucking roux is there.
Yes.
And it's been reduced. And I must have fell asleep and didn't shut one off, or I don't know what the fuck happened, but they both came out perfect. But the air in here,
oh yeah,
the steam was from your waist up in the kitchen. It looked like somebody was smoking a joint in there.
I was too.
And we were in there smoking joints, and then it's just wafting and wafting, and it mixed.
Yes.
Okay, do you know how much ayahuasca gets released when there's that much water, and then you get it down to this?
Do you remember when we first started reducing it? We did it in the winter with all the windows open and the walls were sweating.
Yeah.
And we were purging. Do you remember that?
That's right.
It was like you didn't even need to drink.
You don't need, because you're breathing it in.
You could have literally licked the wall, and you would have
like, see you.
Been done. We didn't know.
So I started realizing that I was having an eye experience.
Oh no, it gets worse.
Oh, wait, I completely fucking forgot the rest of the day.
Yeah.
The shit that was going on.
Yeah.
Was that with the vet?
Yeah, we had to go to the vet. So now Fred gets up, he's sick. He sees now Oscar's been having trouble with his mouth, his gums or his teeth or something. So now we've been watching in the last couple of weeks. Frank watches him do it directly in it, like as
I
it's
knew
happening.
what was wrong with him immediately.
So I was like, you know what? Let's call the vet now. Call the vet now. The lady whispers, if you come as a walk-in now, we can take you. So I said, no problem. I'm coming. Get the paperwork ready. I'm coming. Get ready. Get dressed. Get together. I was like, Frank, I'm sorry. And he says, no problem. Just let me get myself together. All right. We bring Oscar to the vet. No problem. Oscar, the vet is still, they're very conscious. So one person can go in. And I said, Frank, just sit in the car. No problem. I'll call you when it's done. He ends up, it's fine. He's got a little infection in his gums. They gave him a steroid. They gave him medication. He's going to be fine. So now
we went, grabbed the cat,
put
the container together, got in the car.
He says, Paula, I have to go to the bathroom.
I don't know how I held it.
So I said, let's just go to your house.
I was tripping. No, everyone was at my house. All the kids, kids.
So now Frank,
my brother, I was like,
Frank puts it together and realizes we could get to our house quicker then we can get to his mom's house.
Oh, they have streets blocked off.
Right, and he can say hello and get to a bathroom, right? So now we're planning a strategy, like you know, just double park, I'll take over, you run in, go to the whole thing, right? So now this goes on for like
Well,
half
I want to
hour, maybe.
continue the process. We got
Oh yeah, no, we go home.
everything done
Oh yeah, and then
in just a walking motion.
oh yeah, so now I say,
Done,
Frank, we
done,
have to
done,
go back.
done.
We have to go back.
What the fuck is going on? Did we just get all this done?
Yeah, we have to go back to mom's house.
And then I was in the bathroom again, and
Yeah.
then back to my mother's house.
We have to go back to the mom's house because the kids are there. She wants us to see the kids, whatever. We go back to mom's house. Now, the night before, he was purging.
We have a ceremony coming up,
Right.
and I'm purging for the people in the ceremony, the people in the house, the people in my home.
We've been purging. So now we stay for a while, and you know, just it's getting crazy there. There's a lot going back and forth, you know, and you know, we have to leave. And she says, "You're leaving," and he says, "Mom, I can't go in the water with the kids. Like
I can't go in the
pooping.
water.
I can't."
She's like, "You got to teach Zoe how to swim." I'm like, "I
Not
can't."
today. I've been
not
pooping
today.
all night. I slept on a yoga
I had to
mat
sleep
on the floor
because, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I get no sleep sometimes. I'll go in bed and it feels like I'm being choked awake within an hour. And I got to just wake up and I'm like, what's happening? And then I go back to sleep and then I get up and I pee and then I'm already up and I'm going to stay up. And I smoke a joint and I'm like, this is not enough. I'm just going to go to bed. And then sometime around 6 o'clock in the morning, my body just crashes. And then I sleep for a couple of hours. So I'm like, I slept on the floor right here. It's a hardwood floor on a yoga mat with like 2 or 3 pillows stuffed under my head.
Yeah.
I was like, there was cat hair on the floor because we didn't clean in a few days. And I woke up. Oh, I was like, yo, have a little compassion for the people today. Look, my eye's doing that thing. And this eye too. It was fucking crazy, out of control. But I was doing this while, so were you, technically.
Yeah.
Trip, like being under.
Yeah.
I wasn't fully immersed.
And then we came home,
but I
and
wasn't
then
coming
started
out of
purging all night.
When I came out of my dream, it felt like I only came 75% out into this place. And I could see just through understanding what was wrong with the cat, call the vet, now do this, now cross the street, now. And it was just getting done. Yeah. The lady even said to me, as I put the cat down, she goes, "Can I help you?" I said, "No, I'm just putting the cat there." She goes, "Well, I'm going to have you walk outside." I was already outside. I already knew. I was like, "Okay, thank you, bye." I was already in motion the whole time. I never had to stop except to open a fucking door to let myself out. Nothing. I just, I went and I sat in the car for a minute. Yeah. I did something in the car. I did something else. And I called my mother to let her know. And then you hit me up and you were like, "We're done." And I go, you serious?
It was meant to be.
Got out, crossed, got you. I don't know who's ever experienced this before. I'm talking about not having to stop for anything.
Pure synchronicity, just everything working out is sheer beautiful.
And then being back in the house so fast.
Yeah.
On to the next thing.
On to the next thing.
I was like, wow, it really does happen.
Is completed, and then check the next thing is completed. And then once that was done, then I started my purge all night. All night.
It like hit me first.
Yeah,
this happens a lot where I get dropped, and then the next day or two, once I'm
like
healed,
we both can't be down at the same time.
Yeah, it's the one bathroom.
And then
thing.
It hit me, and then today we did. I couldn't do anything. No, yeah.
So who's purging like a beast, by the way? Because while I was going through that, and right now as I'm connected, they're like, "Yo, a lot of people are doing this right now. They're purging that way." They think they have like a stomach thing, but it doesn't hurt. It's just oh, I can't believe it just happened to me, or they're throwing up. I get super nauseous sometimes. I think it's a lot of male energy. And then I'll gack, and then it's gone. It's like something travels up the pipe, and then just gone. So I want to answer this question real quick, Jamie Miller. Hey, Frank and Paula, you ever get that feeling that when you smoke DMT, you see the geometrical patterns of like the pure understanding, and reveals more than real? Yeah.
Looks like, to me, it's like a gigantic kaleidoscope. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I go through the kaleidoscope and wind up on the other side. But the literal, if you're seeing symbols, signs, geometrical patterns that move in shapes and around you and designed, a lot of times it's light language and information coded in some of those signs and patterns. So it's like you're looking at something like a triangle, right? And it'll start to spin, and all of a sudden you know who you are for some strange reason.
Right,
And then it
because
goes back to just being a triangle in the
sharing
circle,
information with you. Mhm.
and then they all connect and create that whatever crazy patterns, and then it's doing that to you from within the patterns. So as you go up to a point in the geometrics, see, I've done this before. I go up to the point and I'll pull it and say, oh, and I said this in some of the earlier shows, in all the connection points in the geometric patterns, you find a Buddha. He's like sitting there,
In
like
the circle. In
yeah, in that connection dot. So wherever grids are connected and lines, you can find Buddha in the point in between the lines. He's always just sitting there. And I'm like, why are you always here? And naturally, it is an energy, it's a consciousness as well. But it teaches you things because each one of those points is a different experience, maybe, that requires a teacher to be available in case you need them. Right.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
so then each like you turn this and all of a sudden you go in and you're angry. And then he's like, yo, relax, have patience. It'll all work out. Oh, you heard that?
Yeah.
Then you get to the next one. He's like, yo, just breathe and relax. That's how it worked with me. But that's how I could just say that's how the matrix here, the geometric patterns in the matrix, send an avatar out to talk to the character, act as a character with this avatar. So there's an understanding of something. So it's just not patterns and shit coming in, but it is that as well. It's like when you look up at the sun's rays do that to you. You're not seeing the geometric patterns and the light language in the sun ray, but
You're receiving the download, you don't realize.
You're
it.
receiving the download, you don't realize. But when you look in the pyramids on the structures, they'll show you the sun with the rays hitting you with the language in the rays. So you're like, oh, look, those are those symbols in the geometric signs and patterns.
Right.
If you pulled one out and didn't have it moving all over the place, it's just a triangle or a circle or a rectangle. I mean, I think I just explained it a little better there. And then when you put them all together, they could do all these crazy fucking things. They could form dodecahedrons and tetrahedrons and all kinds of hedrons and odrons, right? So it just goes on and on infinite, but it's really just the same basic structures, just twisting and turning in different ways to give you that 3D, 4D, 5D experience that we're in. So I'm going to check down here. I want to just see it. If anybody has any questions, there's a lot in here I missed. Yeah. I did tell cool stories on the show about her. I sat her down and told her that, and she was like, "Oh, you did that for me?" I was like, "Of course." Well, I'm not lying, so I have no reason to push and stretch and just I love Paula. I talk about her being a hero of mine, right? Because she pushes and handles through stress better than I see most people handle things. I think that I tell her that we talk about like why we're here for each other sometimes. And it's like, well, I can see the way people treat you this way. Well, they're not going to treat you like that with me standing there. They'll second guess and then take a third and a fourth with me in the room with her. When I leave the room, people get up and swing fucking trees, right? Right? The minute I walk in the room, everyone sits down quietly. Why is that? Right. So that's what I'm talking about. Sacred masculine, sacred feminine. You're not supposed to pick up the tree and swing it around in front of a 4-foot girl. What are you, fucking nuts? Right. The sacred masculine walks in. He doesn't have to say anything. He doesn't have to tell you because it's going to happen the way it needs to occur. Right. Someone needs to help respect the space, to clean and clear the space. How are you going to grow? How are you going to grow? If you all right, you know how you can't be at two places at once? My mother said that to me, Carol. I can't be in two places at once. So I apologize if I missed out on certain things that were going on in the house. Don't apologize. I understand that. That. Well, you can't grow and be in two places at once in most moments. Right. So let's just say caretaking of the house the way you want. This is your home and you need to have it a certain way. Well, there's things that go on inside of that you won't be able to maybe do your stretches and take your shower and do your thing because there's just too fucking much. So the masculine comes in and goes through the home, clears a little bit of a path, allowing her to have her ability to do that. Hey, doesn't this make life easier? Oh, isn't it easier when the man could just walk over and change the light switch and then the woman could walk him through it? and the man not go, oh, I gotta have a woman tell me how to change this.
YouTube. You can do it. Watch YouTube video.
I'm like, look
On
how
the
we
side.
grow together.
Mhm.
Wait. We just did this. Do you know how much this would have cost?
Yeah.
Wait, I do this to Paul.
Yeah.
So she makes the best meals all the time. She puts them down in front of me. I go, okay, how
How
much would
much?
you pay for that dish at a diner? How much? And she'll go, she always underprices. I had $12.50. I go, with soda, with chips, without, with, and she'll go, no, with this. And oh, no. This is like a $25 meal. And she's like, oh, no. Oh, yes. You put fucking bread and water, then soda, $25. Fuck off. Right? This is a giant hearty meal. And we go through these processes because there's interest in the growth.
No, you're the best. You always show an interest in everything.
This is how that interest, those conversations take off and become better platforms of relationship.
I agree.
Experience.
I agree.
Sessions. I don't know.
I agree.
Whatever you want to call it.
It's awesome.
You wake up and you'll feel fucking like, hey, we can do this. But so she'll do that with me, building something or having to fix something. You know, she knows how to do. I don't know how the fuck she knows. I built this table that we're on with the
shelf,
whole desk shelf. I built. She told me how it had to be done, and there was parts I didn't believe her. And then I did some add-on parts that she didn't see. We put this little lip there. It's simple, it's cute, but it holds heavy weight, and it's dope as fuck. Aaron saw it. He was in my house. Everybody that's been here recently has seen it, and we're like, "Yo, check that out." So,
but the tears,
right? But
Paula
Paula helped me do it. So yes, the tears and all that. It's a process. Most guys are like, yeah, she told him how to build the bench. Yeah. And then I watched a little bit of YouTube videos, so I was interested, but I basically just did that. And then the electricity and the wall paintings and hanging the fucking things, everything. Right? That's you want to rise as the masculine. Know what you know how to. It's not just about pounding it out, guys, and how good you are in bed or how big your junk is or how good it's not about that, but it is. There's a whole section about that. But we're going to leave that out for now and just say you need to know how to please each other. But do you think that's what's going to keep her around for 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years? Is that what keeps her there? Because you eat good lamb chops or something? That's not what does it. Can you talk? Can she express herself? Can she count on you to be there?
Hang a nail on the fucking wall.
It's not even just hang a nail on the wall. It's can I count on you? You let me say, do whatever, whenever I want. So I appreciate you for this. Paula always tells me, especially recently, she's been doing a lot. I realize that you just let me just roll with shit. I'm like, right, yeah, I'm not here to fucking do anything but let you roll. If you roll out of bounds, I'll tell you. I'll be like, yo, that's kind of out of bounds. I won't shut you down. I'll be like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? Right?
Sweep the floor.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant if someone goes too far out of rails, being like, well, I'm the sacred feminine and everyone should listen to me because I know better than everyone. When you start getting into that shit, not you, but anyone, there's a high horse there that we have to observe and stay humble within that, but you got to let someone grow at the same time. So all of those things, it's not my job to make you stop growing in any way or to control the growth pattern or like on and on and on. My job is to hang out in the pocket with you and just have a good time.
I love hanging out with you. That's fun.
Listen to this, everyone. You ready? She's going to tell you right now. Go ahead, say it. We're having a good time.
Oh yeah, we're having a great time hanging out.
Why?
Because I love you.
And I love you. But why else? What?
Because you're my best friend.
And what else?
My partner in crime.
Right? We learn and we grow together all the time. We win and or lose together. Ups and downs together.
It's like
I don't take her for granted. And she doesn't take me for granted. And if we cross those lines,
we snap it back in.
When that happens, we deal with it.
Yeah.
But we don't fear that that's coming or nothing. Like, no, we just roll.
Yep.
Just roll. Just expand and express. Safe, sacred space. It's like we created the Fearless group because Paula used to, we might still have it. You had the safe, sacred space thing on the fridge.
Safe space sticker from work, right? So he goes, "What is this shit?" So I said, "It's a safe space sticker. It was for an initiative at work, but in my house, I keep it in my house because in my house, wherever I am, it's a safe space to say and do whatever you want, as long as you're mindful and respectful of the space. You can do anything you want. You can say anything you want. Anything can happen." And Frank, in the beginning, didn't believe it. And then he saw that that's how it could be. And he was like, wow, this is great. And I said, early in the beginning, wouldn't it be great if we had a place where people could come and feel safe and talk about what they want to talk about, ask the questions, share their experiences. And he just like ran with it and actually made it happen. That's basically what happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you made it happen. Look, I mean,
Rock and roll, baby.
yeah, it's amazing.
So check it out. I'm going to just answer some questions real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because Expanded Understanding is going to kick it off.
Okay.
Have I ever taken rue in capsules? Yes, I have. Check this out. So powdered rue in capsules is great. Solid rue in capsules suck. Okay, you have to wait twice as long.
Oh yeah, it was a long
and
time
you're going to
we
be
took those
shitting out
capsules.
pebbles. Okay, but if you just take the powdered rue, you could just pack a you could pack a gram in each one, and then you could take 4 of them or 5 of them, and then that powder needs to just disperse into your stomach,
right?
Rather than it break down this hard shell that it's in. Like that's why I throw it in the extractor, and the machine just basically keeps heat and spins it for me in a small contained space, and it draws everything out of the rue. But you could just purchase it in powder and then not go through that part of the process, and you could just eat the grammage and then drink the ayahuasca, just drink the acacia, or so you can smoke DMT. You want to stay under DMT for a while? Take 3 grams of rue in capsules, throw them in your mouth, swallow, wait about 25-30 minutes, and do 1 giant hit of DMT. I'll see you in about 2.5 hours, right?
Oh, really? The rule keep it going like that?
Yeah. I've knocked everyone out that way. If the Aya is, for whatever reason, keeping you in a boundary where you're okay and you're like, well, I'm okay, but I'm kind of want to see what you're seeing, and they give me that speech, I go, oh, well, I have this. This will make you see it.
Aya never kept me in any boundaries. There were no boundaries.
Well, you've seen it. Like,
I was a fish.
There was a lot of people. I could talk about certain people's experiences, but like I've blasted people in.
No.
From they'll be in the middle of their Aya experience. They start talking, and I'm like, you shouldn't be talking right now. And they're like, I don't. But for dinner tonight, we'll go. Oh, dinner tonight. Check this out. You need to hit this, and they 1 hit,
right,
and they're gone for hours. You're just like, holy fuck, I can't believe how that happened. And the more open, or the more you need, or it just fucking, it cranks it out. It really does. It's fucking crazy. So that's crazy. Is Paula doing something with her mic, or is her mic not working right? I just want to ask you guys. So let me see. Joe G. Yes, I took acid this week. I was tripping and saw Frank turn into a Black Panther. That's fucking awesome.
Like in the movie, or a Black Panther, like a Black Panther?
Probably.
No, I'm teasing. I need to Black Panther. Like Bear.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah. One of my favorites.
Actually, he's right there.
I know.
He's right up in the front of all of them.
I love it.
I fucking love this.
Next to Aquaman.
I took acid this week too, by the way, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
a lot of self-love.
Frank's living his best self right now. Yeah.
All right, that's pretty much it right there. Powdered rue. That shall work great in my Aya trip in November with Angela. Yeah, that's what's up. Ruin Deems. Yep, that's it right there. You can mix rue. It'll just take down everything that wants to eat away the DMT or the ayahuasca. So if you're using certain methods or whatever, you could just eat a couple of grams of rue and then just go on your way. Like whatever you do after that, once that shit's working in your body, is going to be amplified a lot. Okay. I don't think it works that way with mushrooms, because mushrooms work already with you. I don't know.
Right.
Like you just eat a couple more mushrooms. You don't.
Well, they work with your brain.
It's so weird
It's
because
different, right?
I
It's
work
not
with mushrooms and I'll eat a gram and it'll be like a 5 gram experience. And then I'll go, well, let me drop it down to a half gram. And then that'll feel like a 2 gram experience. And I'll go, what's going on? They're like, you're already open.
But isn't the way it's macerated, isn't it something that happens in your mouth with mushrooms? Like it's the way it's macerated and the way.
Oh, so you chew it up to speed up the process.
No, but the way it's digested, it's
it
not.
doesn't really
like-
matter.
So
You could use lemon tech. They said you can mix it with lemon and
no,
it
but I'm
amplifies.
saying the rue wouldn't help that. It's the way.
No.
It's absorbed by the body completely.
The body doesn't
differently,
kill it when it's trying to interact with the
right.
mushrooms. The body actually absorbs the mushrooms,
Right.
like superfood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's what you want.
Right.
Your body though is made to shut down that dream time state. So when you blast yourself with DMT, it's immediately eating it, like stop, because you're up. So that's why you got to just sit back and let it happen, and then just let yourself come back, because your body is like fighting that off so you can be awake and be in this reality. Because I've taken I've smoked DMT where there's no moving your body, you're just dead, you're just lying there. And then other time, all the way across the board to where you can sit there in the chair and see all that occurring, all of everything just happening right there. And you're just like, all right, you get that understanding, and you come back and you kind of like lose the understanding of it a little bit because it was so detailed. I kind of don't.
It felt.
They teach me to look and describe immediately. So now I just.
For me, it was. It was a very. I feel like I spent the day in my head today, and I'm having a hard time with the words today, as you see, but I really feel like I spent the day in my head, and I tried.
But was it a bed?
No, because I feel like I lived the whole day in my head. Like I talked it out all day, like the plan. So that plan is happening. And I realize this. It's not this reality.
I caught Paula looking at homes.
Somewhere that plan is happening. So today, and I told Frank, I said, I don't feel like I'm me today. I'm not supposed to be here today. So some things I can't quite put my finger on it, but today I lived a life in my head today. And I really hope that you guys can understand me, but it wasn't wasted. That time wasn't wasted, is what I'm saying to you. It's like in the vortex. I can't explain it.
No, that's the hard work we talk about. Now, if you haven't done any work ever and now you're having to do that work, it's hard, right? So you spend the day with yourself now in your mind. Did it hurt you?
No,
So look,
I think it
it's
really
fine, right?
No, I think it really helped, because
There you go.
yesterday when you said, like, Frank and I had a very direct conversation yesterday, and he asked his higher self questions, and his higher self gave him very direct answers, and we were directed to start setting boundaries, that it would be in our best interest to do it, and that people would start viewing us in a different light, because I don't want to. We're all in a situation, and we have no choice but to continue to be in this situation, and we have to get through it the best we can. And I always hope for the best possible scenario, and Frank will attest to that. Like, it doesn't matter what's going to happen, we have to get through this. And I think the discussion that we had resonated so highly with me that today I put a plan in motion in my head, and it incapacitated me from physically doing anything. if you can understand what that means.
Mhm.
I feel you saw me.
How are you supposed to put the plan in motion if you can't sit down and work
me
out the
today.
blueprints?
Oh,
It just makes no sense if you can't do
it's
that,
built
right?
in my head.
So
And
to
you were
have the
doing this.
conversation,
Yeah,
yeah, me too.
you were doing the same thing.
I was doing it out loud right in front of you, and I'm like, look, he's looking right at me. Just I go, hold on, let me do part one, and then I spoke to Paula about it, and then I'm like, okay, part two, go ahead, now you can talk again. The information came in. I said, all right, it's basically now we got to set boundaries with everyone.
Right.
Everyone, boundaries, bang, got no choice. You give us no choice, but it's how it's done. You set the boundary, then you get the respect, because then that's where the boundary line is. All right. And if not, then whatever. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm learning with these conversations. As the conversations expand, you could like whatever political person you want, and I could like whoever I want, and we could still get along. Just like Lisa and her friend. They could still get along, even though we disagree about this whole masculine
we agree
thing.
to disagree.
We agree to disagree, but I fucking love you. Okay, cool.
Right.
My buddy Rich Johnson will disagree with me on so much shit, and because he's Mensa, right? He has like this thing where he can rock me, and he's a teacher. And a lot of the stuff now, just now, is starting to come back, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's starting to work out because we're working through the boundary."
Yeah, no judgment. Hey,
right? Like, because Frank didn't. We used to fight a lot as kids and all kinds of stuff, and then you went and did this, and I went and did this. So it's an ego thing, but it's kind of joking with friends. But I became the shaman, and now it's opened up, and now we're meeting on this higher level.
It's weird.
And my information that I've been kicking for years is trickling in. So when he goes, "Oh, mushrooms grows neural pathways," I'm like, "Yeah, I've been telling you that for years."
Yeah,
I literally, you're my fucking friend. I tell you that, and you're like, "Hey, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And I'm like, "Oh, now we're talking."
Right.
But that's just an example. But that turned into also, that turns into, "Hey, microdosing's fantastic," and I'm like, "Yes, it is."
Right.
Yes, it is. See, I don't go, "I told you so." I don't really do that to my friends. I'll look at them and smile and go, "Dude, that's the greatest thing." Right. And he'll go, "I knew you'd understand." I go, "You fucking know. Bro, do you know what happens if you up that dosage?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "No, you keep it under still, but you don't put it too under, but you go up a little bit."
Right.
You get like, it's nothing like limitless. I don't want to talk like that, but man,
Clarity.
there's a clarity that you hit when you're striving and hitting those notes, and you're hitting the notes. It's like a stride in your step that you nobody gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. There's no obstacle. You don't move around the obstacles anymore. There's no obstacle.
Right.
Right. And that's what the clarity does, that the awareness sets in, and no problem. So all these wonderful things are coming together and coming online. We should all rejoice in the moment we have together, and that men and women, we are out there that are doing it together as a team, not separate. Right. I don't have to put her just on a pedestal and go, "Oh, the sacred feminine's rising to capture the reality and put everything back in place." Look, without us, she can't do that. She can't. You don't think so? Eat some psychedelics. Ask yourself. Say, can we do it without them? You just get a bunch of angry lesbians at that point. Right? Go read Why the Last Man. What happens when that goes on? Okay. However, the perfect balance puts you back in balance.
Right.
You are the queen. There is no questioning. You're all that. All of you, a mother and queen.
Declare it.
And princess and awesome. But you got to be it. And you got to grow. And the men, you don't swing a sword no more to be a man. That's part of the job. You will swing the sword on some layer or another. You're required. Do your job. Wake up. Treat them the way you want to be treated. You want to be served food, serve her food. You want to have your feet washed, wash her feet. You want then you do what you got to do. You understand? Not because I'm a man, you do it. You do the right thing because you're a man. All right? We're going to take it back. We're ready to do it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Fearless Family shout outs. Gina, Jim, we love you so much.
We do love you.
Never out of our hearts ever. And show compassion to people during this time, because it's going to get crazy in this world. Just show a little compassion. It's going to get really nuts.
Yeah.
People are going to start going to jail really soon. There more people are in trouble, and you just got to look. So as you go, just understand, as people pop off and have these problems, just send love at them. There's a better way to communicate, and we're going to find it. I love you all. Fearless Family shout outs. Love you all. Let's tune into Aaron's show. And shout outs to Zach. Expanded Understanding right now on the Expanded Understanding channel. And stay fearless. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. See you next time.
Good night.
And thanks, Patty. That meme of us.
We love it.
We
Thank
love it.
you.
It's the best. 44 on the out. Peace.